In a cold, deserted square, a wedding is taking place. However, what should have been a happy occasion is full of murmurs and doubts. Meltia has been chosen to be the bride of the Northern Chief. Of course, this marriage is just to form an alliance between the Northern Chief and the Southern King and bring an end to the war between the two kingdoms. After years of endless fighting, the two kingdoms decide to become brothers in marriage and finally live in peace. And the girl who has been chosen to be the sacrifice is our female lead, Meltia. She isn't impressed by this story of peace. She knows her kingdom is just selling her out because they need to stop the war. Even worse is that she is getting married to that Northern Chief. Who in the kingdom hasn't heard of him? They call him the Pale Blue Nightmare because he's the most terrifying man in the north. Every time, he walks about swinging a huge battle axe and riding a big black horse. He is even in charge of the most savage and bloodthirsty warriors of Ireburn. And that is the man a weak, fragile girl like her is supposed to marry? Meltia can't hide her misery and starts shivering right during the wedding. This makes the men from the north dissatisfied. Not only has this bride refused to open her eyes, she starts shaking like a leaf right in front of her husband. Meltia can hear the murmurs, but there's nothing she can do. No matter how much she wants to, she just can't open her eyes. She's standing in front of the man she is supposed to marry, yet she is still trembling. Come to think of it, Meltia's illness started because of her own kingdom. You see, our female lead has a strange illness. No matter who it is, as long as it is a male standing in front of her, she can never open her eyes and look at them. It all started 6 years ago, when the greedy king of her kingdom decided to invade Ireburn, the land of the northern tribes. At first, the kingdom seemed to be winning, taking down village after village. That was until one man appeared. With his wild white hair whipping around like that of a beast, Lord Ardle single-handedly changed the whole situation. With his axe, he reaped the soul of many kingdom warriors. Or should we say those warriors are useless? Why are they in the middle of a war, yet they are fighting to assault and kill an innocent girl? Yes, this girl is our female lead. Somehow those soldiers snuck into the Duke's mansion and surrounded her. Our girl is frightened and tries struggling, but it doesn't work. Just as she thinks she is about to die, someone appears to save her. With that white hair and cute mask, who else can it be but Lord Ardle? But Meltia has no idea who her savior is. After being frightened like that, and now watching the man kill her bullies, she is so scared she faints. Therefore, she has no idea that she met Ardle before and that he is her savior. Fast forward to when she wakes up, she discovers she has developed this illness. No matter who it is, as long as it is a male, she can never look straight at them. Her eyes always remain shut. Even worse, her scumbag father fails to understand her. Instead of seeking treatment for her, he accuses her of challenging his authority and from then on starts abusing her. You can imagine how Meltia felt when the message from the king arrived, declaring her the chosen bride of the covenant. Fancy words, but Meltia knows they just want to use her as a pawn to stop the war between the two kingdoms, leading us to the wedding today. Back to the wedding, Meltia might not be able to see, but she can feel the pressure of the man beside her. And it is a lot. He is nothing like other men. The poor girl isn't sure she can go through with this marriage. How can she manage being the wife of this beast-like man? But when the priest reads the vow and asks her if she is willing, she still agrees. Even though she knows marrying him means she will have to die if he also dies, she says yes because this is a task her kingdom has given to her. And just like that, their vow is sealed. But just like the couple, no one around is impressed by this marriage. There isn't even anyone clapping. To prove their bond, the priest says they will have to dedicate their first night together so they can be blessed. Lord Ardle seems to have been waiting for this moment. After sneaking glances at his wife all day, he finally hugs her and carries her away. Meltia, who has her eyes closed, isn't expecting this at all. Even the crowd is shocked. How did the prince, who was just here, disappear? When they see him carrying his bride and rushing away, even his own warriors are shocked. Chief, it is still the middle of the day. No need to start the wedding night now. What about the banquet right after the ceremony? Sorry, darlings. And so the story of the Northern Chief and his little bride begins. Before the wedding, Meltia had been given strict instructions by her scumbag father. Since she is a tool used to secure peace between the two kingdoms, all hopes rest on her. Her father wants her to seduce Ardle and make sure she never turns against their kingdom. But is that even something the fragile Meltia can do? Just the thought of it being their first night already makes her scared. She hasn't prepared herself yet. Feeling the touch of her husband, she can't control herself and starts trembling. No matter how much she tries to stop it, she just can't. She is worried her refusal would ruin the marriage, so she tries to endure it. But she soon starts struggling to breathe. With his bride like this, how can Lord Ardle go on? She looks like she is about to faint. Meltia is surprised when he stops, and even more when he asks if she is scared of him. The man feels it is only natural for her to be. They call him a nightmare in her kingdom, after all. He tells her they won't be continuing today and covers her with a cloth. Hearing him walk away causes Meltia to panic. She is afraid he might be angry with her and rushes to comfort him. However, in her haste, she jumps down from the bed and falls straight into her husband's arms. This clueless girl. Her hands even end up right at the perfect spot, touching that broad chest. Meltia is so embarrassed. But it soon turns to fear when she sees her new husband raise his hands. This is it. He is about to hit her, just like her father. She notices how thick his hands are. Surely if he hits her, she might die. She closes her eyes, looking like a fragile beauty prepared for her tragic fate. Her actions leave Ardle confused. Why is his new bride suddenly hugging herself and crying? All he wants to do is just touch her? Sigh. He can only comfort this delicate wife of his, cleaning her tears and promising her he isn't going to do anything. He picks her up. While Meltia is wondering where they are going, they end up at a bath, and it is when she feels him trying to take off her clothes that she panics. Only after promising him that she can do it herself does he leave. Now alone, Meltia starts thinking about how strange everything is. The north is nothing like what her family told her. She thought it would be cold and harsh in the land of the barbarians, but it is surprisingly warm, just like her husband. Someone rushes in then. It is Liza, Meltia's only handmaid. Our girl is very happy to see her and smiles brightly. Now we can see why Liza was willing to follow Meltia even to the land of the barbarians. Turns out she is just a fan of her mistress's beauty. Meltia feels a bit sorry for this maid. She is sure the girl must be unhappy since she was the only one chosen to follow Meltia into the barbarians' land. On the other hand, Liza is also feeling sorry for her master. Not only did she become a bride to such a man, she was forced to have the wedding night right after. Meltia is feeling guilty. She feels disgusted with herself. How can she not when she failed to perform the most important duty of a wife? In her kingdom, they believe a married noblewoman is now a property of her husband. A woman refusing her husband on their wedding night is simply something that has never happened. Meltia starts shaking again. She imagines what would happen if her father found out. She can already imagine the pain of his beatings. Her thoughts turn to her new husband. Unlike her father, he didn't hurt her. She remembers how rough his hands were, yet he gently held her like he was holding something fragile. Meltia starts blushing, but then she is worried again. She is sure her new husband must be angry now. After all, he is the leader of such strong warriors. Everybody knows warriors take great pride in their honor and reputation, and she has just ruined his by rejecting him on their wedding night. If word about this spreads, she simply can't imagine what will happen to her. The man Meltia is worried about is having a meeting with his guards, Quenser and Romis. Quenser is gossipy and wants to know if Ardle has finished doing the deed. He is even curious, wondering why his boss didn't last long. Cough. Romisu is much smarter. From the way Meltia was trembling during the wedding, he is sure she would have rejected Ardle on their first night. Ardle covers up for his wife and says they just haven't had their first night yet. Romisu is concerned for his boss. Even if she didn't refuse him, just the fact that they haven't yet had their first night is a shame to Ardle. The other tribal guests are still here. If they find out, Ardle's honor would be completely destroyed. It seems they will have to do that thing to the princess. As expected, Ardle tells them to prepare the usual thing as his new bride is going to need it. Wait, guys. What thing? Our female lead is busy imagining the worst-case scenarios. She has somehow convinced herself she will soon die. If the warriors find out she refused their chief during the first night, they might get angry and decide to attack her kingdom again. Worse, she might have been killed before then. All of a sudden, the door to her room is pushed open and two men appear. Seeing the two warriors standing there looking like grim reapers, Meltia is shocked and immediately closes her eyes. She has already seen their dark, angry faces. Just as she thought, they are here to finish her off. This girl really has a wild imagination. The men who she thinks are here to kill her are holding a box. Turns out they just came to deliver a package for her. Seeing Quenser acting cute and greeting Meltia, Romisu immediately slaps the foolish boy's head. How dare he rush into their queen's room without knocking? The two men suddenly start arguing, leaving Meltia very confused. What is going on? Just as Quenzer said, they indeed came to deliver something to her. A beautiful white dress. After putting it on, Liza the little fangirl can't stop admiring Meltia and keeps praising her. Meltia is still a bit confused since she expects the men to be the ones to take her out. Turns out they are just messengers. Even more confusing is this white dress that Ardle has sent over to her. Even in the kingdom, they can't make something as comfortable as this. So why would Lord Ardle give her something so precious? Even after she embarrassed him so much. And the man she is thinking about suddenly appears at the door, startling her. She hurriedly closes her eyes, wondering if he has been watching her the whole time. Ardle doesn't say anything and keeps looking at her. Only when he has stared at her from top to bottom does he smile and immediately tell her she is beautiful. He offers her his hand. Ardle is such a good man. Knowing his wife is scared of people, he doesn't take her to the banquet, but instead out of the palace. The two share a horse. All the while, Meltia is panicking. This horse is so big. If she gets thrown off, it won't end well for her. Also, she is too close to this new husband. Soon she starts trembling again. Ardle notices and asks if she is still scared. Meltia denies it and tells him the horse is just too high. He doesn't argue, but tells her to open her eyes and look ahead. Meltia is a bit confused, but still does as he said. Immediately, she is stunned by the beauty in front of her. Ireburn is so beautiful. Seeing her stunned face, Ardle secretly smiles. The devilish man, knowing she is scared, immediately makes the horse go faster. In her fear, Meltia is forced to hug him tightly, completely fulfilling his wish. Ardle has taken Meltia into the village. Hearing people murmuring about her, she is scared. After all, she is someone from the kingdom. Just 5 years ago, they were busy invading Ireburn. Now they and the north can be considered enemies. She knows she will never fit in with these people. Worse, she still has her eyes closed. What if they misunderstand her? And so she starts imagining her death once again. Suddenly, someone grabs her hand. Ardle tells her not to worry, as everything would be fine. As if to prove him right, some kids approach, and after confirming she is their chief's bride, they immediately hand her a crown of flowers. Seeing how pretty she looks, the children are very excited. Meltia is very happy to see people approaching her. Soon, the whole villagers gather around. They are very happy right now. Not only is Meltia playing with their kids, foods and drinks have also been brought over. Ardle stands to one side, watching his new wife get along with his villagers. Right now, she is playing a game with the children. Seeing her childish smile makes him happy. Meltia is also surprised. Back in the kingdom, people from Ireburn are said to be cruel and barbaric, but it seems those are just lies. These people are very joyful. Even her husband is nothing like the rumors say. Meltia feels guilty too. Her kingdom destroyed the peace of these people. Now that she is here, she has to maintain the peaceful life of these villagers. As Lord Ardle's wife, this is her duty. And because she is a daughter of a noble from the kingdom that started the invasion, she must show even more sincerity. And so she rushes to her husband and asks that he holds her once more. She tells him she wants them to redo their wedding night. Meltia has just offered herself to her husband once more. She wants them to redo the wedding night. She has made up her mind to use herself as a sacrifice, paying for the sins of her kingdom. That is the greatest sincerity she can offer. Looking at the determined woman, Ardle decides to test her. He pushes her against the tree and holds her chin. He asks her if she will be willing to redo the night right here and now. As expected, his little bride starts trembling. She finds him too big, but she knows she can't back down now, and so she says, yes. Ardle is not deceived by her words. He simply pats her head and tells her not to trouble herself. He isn't a man who forces others. If she is scared, then there is no need for them to rush. Meltia, however, is desperate to show she is useful. She stops the man from leaving and declares she just wants to show her sincerity as a wife. She even starts begging him. Unable to resist her pitiful face, he grabs her hand and raises it to his forehead. He tells her what he really wants from her is for her to stay by his side forever. Meltia is in shock. She never expected her husband to be this gentle. For someone like Meltia who isn't used to such kindness, it turns out to be too much for her. She collapses into her husband's arms. Yes, guys. She just fainted. Through her daze, she can feel her new husband carrying her. He is so warm and has such a gentle scent, putting her at ease. The next time she wakes up, she is lying in bed. Shocked, she discovers this isn't her own bedchambers. It should be Ardle's. She guessed right as the man sitting in the chair beside her finally speaks up. He tells her she fainted from a fever. He even complains about her maid who almost snatched her away from him when he brought her back to the castle. Meltia is surprised and asks how she should ever repay him. He tells her it was Liza who took care of her, so she should thank her. While our girl is busy apologizing, her husband is being tempted by the sight in front of him. Who gave his wife these low-cut pajamas? Just one look at her full chest and his mind goes wild. Before he can do something out of line, he rushes out of the room. He says he is going to find some breakfast for her, but we all know he is just running away. Before he leaves, he tells her to eat and rest. There is a grand banquet coming up tonight. Since she has nothing to do before then, she should take the time to recover from the long journey. Left alone, Meltia starts her self-blaming again. She is worried she must have been a burden to her husband, especially since she always acts so afraid. She believes she must have caused him even more trouble. She is also disappointed with herself. After all her bold talk, she didn't even have the courage to look at him. But she is curious, though. When she woke up, he was sitting beside her. He was even asleep on the chair when she woke up. Could it be that he was here all night? She remembers his words asking her to stay by his side and starts blushing again, wondering what he meant by that. Over at the soldiers' training ground, Ardle's closest guards, Romisu and Quenser, are busy gossiping about the chief and his new wife. It turns out the dress Ardle had them deliver to Meltia is the one only brides who have had their first night wear the morning after. Quenser is happy and believes that the two must have sent their first night together already. Romisu is smarter. He bursts Quenser's bubble and tells him the chief only did that to trick everyone so that the peace treaty can be sealed. Seeing Meltia wearing the dress would convince everyone they already spent the night together. Romisu is more worried about Meltia. He has noticed something wrong with the chief's wife. There is going to be a grand banquet tonight with all the different tribes attending, and Meltia is going to be presented there. If she isn't capable enough, it is going to bring shame to their Ireburn tribe. Just then, they notice someone standing up there. It is their chief. Thankfully, he doesn't hear their conversation. But they find it strange. The chief only wears his mask around strangers and never around his town people. So why is he wearing it now? Ardle has no idea he has been noticed. Seeing his serious face, he must be thinking of something important like solving wars, taking care of his people. Sorry. Right now, our male lead is busy thinking of his new wife. His mind is filled with images of her. He has imagined her in every position, and he finally can't take it any longer. Taking off his mask, he sighs regretfully. He had already expected it and prepared for it. But this new wife of his is really too adorable. It seems like the banquet tonight might not be peaceful. And Romisu and Quenser have just found out that the red one is going to be around. And no, he isn't disliked because he has red hair. Nobody likes the red one because he is simply unreasonable and finds fault with everything. But there is nothing they can do about him. He is the son of the Whalen clan leader. Besides, due to custom, all visitors are welcome, so they can't chase him away. The two men spot Ardle and try to stop him. They want to tell him the news, but he isn't listening to them. He is in such a hurry, his warriors are left wondering where he is going to. Of course, it is to go and peek at his little bride again. Meltia is having her breakfast while struggling not to die. She is aware she hasn't eaten since yesterday, but there was no need to bring over so many different meals. When she first saw the many luxurious ingredients used to cook, Meltia was so touched she could cry. Back at home, she was considered useless, so she wasn't allowed to eat anything expensive. Now she feels guilty even touching this kind of food. After all, she didn't even get through the wedding night. How can she deserve such luxury? She is still thinking about how to fulfill her wifely duties when Ardle walks in. Meltia is surprised to see him and wonders why he is here again. Ardle isn't pleased to see the food still untouched and asks if she doesn't like it. She rushes to assure him she likes them all. She tells him the truth. The food is just so extravagant that it feels too precious to eat. Ardle is amused by this wife of his. He urges her to eat more. She is so thin, hence why he had the kitchen prepare such a meal. He is very worried even a slight breeze might blow his adorable wife away. Meltia doesn't know what to do. She finds it sweet that he came here to check if she was eating properly, but she still feels guilty. She doesn't like the feeling of relying on him without doing anything in return. She really needs to make herself useful to him. And so after eating, she asks him to teach her about the castle. Meltia knows that back in her kingdom, it is the duty of a wife to help her husband by managing the castle. She doesn't know if it is the same here in the north, but she is determined to do anything she can to help this kind man. Ardle is still worried about his wife. She has just recovered from a fever and should be resting by now. Meltia insists she is fine. How won't she when she is so stuffed? Just remembering how this great demon personally forced her to eat everything on the plate makes her shiver. She isn't even sure she would be able to eat the evening meal. But that can wait. Right now, Meltia is eager to learn everything about the castle. Since Ardle doesn't say anything, she gets nervous and wonders if it is not allowed. Ardle tells her it isn't forbidden. He casually asks her if she plans to stay in Ireburn. However, Meltia doesn't hear him, wondering if he said something. Ardle takes her on a tour of the castle. During the tour, she notices the castle looks like it hasn't been used much until recently. It isn't hard to figure out why. The castle owner, Lord Ardle, has been away for years, fighting in the war against the kingdom. Obviously, he wouldn't have been living in a castle. He was born to be on the battlefield. After a long tour, the two end up on top of the castle tower. Meltia is amazed by how beautiful the view is. Ardle is nervous and asks her if she likes it here. Meltia doesn't understand the double meaning and just says she does. Downstairs, the servants are busy preparing for the banquet. The banquet is going to be a grand one. Ardle is explaining to his wife what the feast is about. It is to entertain all the tribal representatives who came for their wedding and also to formally introduce Meltia to them. Meltia immediately becomes nervous. Before Ardle can comfort her, one of his warriors rush in to inform him that the townspeople are here. Seeing the look his chief is giving him, the poor boy is scared for his life. The man is clearly warning him to read the room. With no choice, Ardle can only leave to attend to urgent matters. He wants Meltia to wait for him. Our female lead doesn't see the need. If he is so busy, there is no need for him to spare any more time for her. Ardle doesn't listen and asks her to just wait obediently for him. Now that he is gone, Meltia can finally open her eyes. She is scared about the upcoming banquet. She knows her condition well. She will definitely be trembling and scared to open her eyes in front of those important guests. What if they think she is insulting them? And there isn't even enough time for her to prepare before dinner time. While she is busy thinking, someone suddenly appears out of nowhere and grabs her hand tightly. With a mocking voice, he calls her the young lady. With that mocking tone and flaming red hair, who else can this be but the famously unreasonable Red One of Wellen? Well, Seorus did not come to play. As soon as he sees Meltia, he lets her know he despises not only her, but also her husband. He calls Ardle a monster and tells her how disgusted he feels when he sees the two of them. Meltia is terrified and begs him to let her go, but he just finds her even more annoying. How can the bride Ardle find be like this? She is even more cowardly than the wild rats ruining around in the castle. She is indeed a fragile daughter from the kingdom. He thinks it is a mockery to his northern kingdom for the south to exchange for peace with just a weak little girl. Normally, the defeated kingdom should either pay money or give lands, yet the kingdom tried to escape that by offering only a bride to establish peace. What makes him even madder is that Ardle really agreed with this stupid condition. As the leader of the northern tribes, he even sent a large amount of sheep, gold, iron, and more back to the kingdom. Normally, it is supposed to be the defeated kingdom giving tribute. So why did they switch roles? The defeated kingdom lost nothing, and the victorious north gained nothing. This stupid peace deal only benefited the kingdom. And yet, after paying so much for a bride, all they got was a weak, fragile girl. Before Seorus can continue, someone slaps his hands away. Ardle is here, and he is definitely not pleased. He pulls the frightened Meltia into his embrace. Feeling her trembling body, he looks like he is about to kill Seorus, but the man isn't afraid and calls Ardle a monster. He says he is a disgrace who accepted a bride from the northern kingdom and cheaply made peace with the enemies. He tells our male lead he is a stain on the tribe. He is a disgrace because he destroyed the warrior's pride. Just the thought that someone like Ardle is above him makes him sick. Ardle isn't concerned about Severus's little rant. He is busy examining his wife. He seems to see a mark on her body and gets angry. He pulls out his sword, determined to kill the man. Except Meltia begs him to stop and even apologizes, saying it is her fault. She says she must have done something to upset the man. Ardle is immediately weakened when he hears this. The ignorant Meltia is still feeling glad, thinking she just solved a serious situation that happened because of her. Little does she know she is shaming her husband more. Ardle asks her why she is apologizing. Meltia doesn't have a valid response and says it must be because she couldn't look Seorus in the eye, making him angry. Ardle reminds her of her position. No matter what happens, no one in this kingdom has a right to lay their hands on her. She is now his wife, the wife of the chief of Ireburn, so anyone who touches her has no right to complain even if he is killed. Meltia is still trying to find excuses, but Ardle isn't having it. He grabs her hand and tells her to have more confidence. She is his wife, the bride he chose because he wanted her. Meltia doesn't understand why. What is so special about her that would make Ardle choose her as his bride? She can't understand his choice. She's someone who is always trembling when she sees a man and can't even open her eyes in front of them. She is always looking scared, feeling afraid and unable to even speak her feelings. Yet this man chose her and wanted her to be his wife. So for that, she has to be gentle and warm for him. She wants to become a wife he can be proud of. The night of the banquet has finally arrived. Meltia is super nervous and can't even open her eyes. Seeing her like this, Ardle is worried, but she assures him she is fine. She might not be able to open her eyes in front of so many men, but she is determined to be someone worthy of standing by Ardle's side. Therefore, she offers him her hand and asks him to escort her into the hall. As the servants announce their arrival, Meltia is determined to do her best. The servants announce the arrival of the chief and his bride, and all the warriors immediately stand to welcome them. Meltia has not forgotten the words Seorus told her this morning. Just like him, there are various tribes who also hold resentment towards Ardle for agreeing to this marriage. So when Ardle suggests they leave immediately after his speech, using the excuse of her still being tired from the journey, Meltia refuses. She is determined to play her role as his wife and greet everyone properly. Ardle is pleased to hear this, but still advises her not to force herself. Ardle is invited to give his speech while Meltia starts thinking about the situation they are in. The Northern Kingdom is not like the South with only one king. Here, there are 12 great tribes with each choosing the strongest warrior as their leader, forming a tightly united alliance. However, the alliance leader does not control the rest of the tribes like he is their master. Instead, all of the tribes are all equal. They all make a decision together. They only respect the alliance leader and trust him because he is a great warrior. Ardle gives his speech and everyone is in awe of him. The hall is full of praises for his commanding presence. Some even go as far as to thank God for meeting him in this life. This just puts more pressure on Meltia. Her husband is both the chief of Ireburn and the alliance leader of the northern tribes. She can almost feel the crowd's adoration. Soon the gossip shifts to her, with most talking about how thin she seems and how she was trembling like a leaf during the wedding. They wonder why she wouldn't open her eyes. Meltia ignores their words. She knows some might find her strange while others are wary because she is from the kingdom, but she is now the wife of their alliance leader. Therefore, as long as she stands before these people, she must act in a way that won't bring shame to her husband. Remembering how he chose her among others, she is determined to hold her head high no matter what. Her eyes might be closed, but she will use her words to express how much she loves this land. And so, holding Ardle's hands, she gives her speech. She thanks the warriors for coming and pledges to support her husband in protecting this land. The warriors are amazed by how smoothly she talks, and they all start praising her, calling her the wife of a great warrior and a worthy bride. Hearing these praises, Meltia is very happy. This means she has been accepted. Even Ardle is beginning to smile. However, their joy doesn't last for long. There is one group of people who haven't smiled since the beginning of the banquet: Seorus and his Wellan tribe. Seeing the other tribe leaders accepting this unworthy new bride, he is about to die from anger. These men are getting carried away. He can never accept a girl from the kingdom standing above him. And so, he causes a disturbance. Slamming the table, he directly asks Meltia why she has refused to open her eyes and look at them. He immediately accuses her of being scared of them. Meltia tries to deny it, but the Wellan warriors interrupt and say she is just a girl from the kingdom, and she is looking down on them. Meltia is heartbroken that Seorus did this and starts trembling. Seeing his wife's sad face, Ardle is angry. Seorus isn't scared though, and says a weak and terrified girl like her isn't worthy to be the alliance leader's wife. Meltia can feel all her trauma coming back. She knows if she doesn't do something now, not only the kingdom, but even her husband himself will face troubles. Just at that moment, someone holds her hand. She hears Ardle asking her to follow his lead, and then the next thing. He is kissing her. Not really, he actually has a hand between both their lips. However, from the angle he is, no one can see it, and they all think the two are kissing for real. The warriors are all shocked. While the rest of the warriors are still in shock, Ardle asks Meltia to put her hands around his neck. Our girl can't even think straight. Not only are they so close, he even wants her to put her hands around his neck. That will be even worse. Ardle can tell she is nervous and tells her to trust him. Since the man who has always helped her is telling her to follow his lead, she decides to believe him. And so, the two actually start kissing for real. Cough, guys. This is still the middle of the banquet. The rest of the warriors are also forced to watch this passionate display of love. Only when the two are satisfied do they stop. Ardle arrogantly uses one hand to pick his little bride as he tells the Welland tribe that his wife isn't afraid of him. The other tribe leaders are actually pleased by this. It is fine if the wife doesn't open her eyes, as long as she is devoted to Ardle. They even start praising our male lead for being so manly. Meltia is about to die of embarrassment, while Seorus is about to die of anger. With his plans ruined, he angrily leaves the banquet hall and doesn't forget to mock the Ireburn tribe, calling them unworthy. This act, however, makes the others dissatisfied with him. Their conclusion is simple. Seorus is far too reckless. He might be a good warrior, but as a leader, Ardle is far better than him. They even say it is a shame he has the noble Welland blood flowing through his veins. Hearing this, Seorus is about to burst his veins from anger. He vows to himself to bring Ardle down. Meltia is still embarrassed. Till now, she still has her face covered. She can't believe she did something like that in front of so many people. Just remembering it again makes her feel like she is about to die of embarrassment. Seeing her like this, Ardle is uncomfortable and apologizes for startling her. She rushes to assure him he doesn't need to apologize for anything. The man thus returns to his rascal behavior and asks if she liked that kiss. Meltia doesn't answer, and just tells him she was indeed very surprised. But just like he said, she is all right now. The banquet continues. Although not everything went smoothly, the warriors all wanted to be introduced to her and even fought each other to get close. But they had no idea this triggered her trauma and she would freak out anytime any of the men came close. But with Ardle holding her hand, everything became better. She could even speak to the men happily. With the banquet coming to an end, the couple returned to their chambers. Meltia is very proud of herself. She actually made it through till the end of the banquet. She can't remember the last time she spoke to so many men. And unlike before, she didn't tremble or lose her breath. Our girl is so proud. She is about to start skipping and singing tunes. Ardle isn't stingy and also praises his wife for doing so well. Because of her, those tribe leaders enjoyed themselves so much. He thanks her and can't help but say what is on his mind. He feels like his wife is becoming even more beautiful. Meltia is startled to hear that as she wonders why he would suddenly say that. What has gotten into him? Ardle tells her he is just wondering. If the moonlight were to shine into her eyes right now, how much more beautiful would she be? Oh my god, bro, Shakespeare got nothing on you. Meltia is blushing just listening to this. That is until Ardle asks her why she refuses to show him her eyes. Is it because she is scared of him? Or because he is someone she doesn't want to see? Meltia is quick to protest when she hears Ardle say this. She denies ever being afraid of him. It is also not because she doesn't want to look at him either. Ardle wants to know the reason then. Why does she refuse to look at him? Meltia really wants to tell Ardle he isn't scary. The problem is with her. She is the one who can't open her eyes in front of any man. But the thought of what he would think of her if she told him the truth makes her scared. She doesn't want him to think less of her. Worse, what if he leaves her? Just the thought of it makes Meltia terrified. Seeing her trembling so much, Ardle can't bear to force her and tells her he understands. He promises to wait for her. The thought that one day her eyes might reflect him is enough motivation for him to wait, no matter how long it might take. Hearing this and feeling his warm hand on her face, Meltia blushes. Just the thought of having someone willing to wait for her? She never knew it could feel so precious. Because of that, she makes up her mind. For this person, she is willing to get better and overcome her trauma. She grabs his hand and makes a vow too, promising him that no matter how long it might take, one day her eyes will reflect him. Ardle is pleased to hear this and smiles. He touches her cheek and tells her he would be waiting. The weather is getting cold already, and the two plan to return to their rooms. However, Ardle has a better idea. He suggests they both share a drink. Meltia is uncomfortable seeing her husband pouring drinks for her. This isn't what they were taught back in the kingdom. The wife is supposed to serve the husband. However, Ardle doesn't see anything wrong with it since he was the one who suggested they drink together. He serves her the drink and says this is also his way of rewarding her for doing so well. When Ardle tells her he has warmed it by adding some hot water to it, Meltia is so touched. The drink smells so sweet. She can't resist it and starts drinking. She finds it delicious, and Ardle reveals he has prepared it since the day of their wedding. He was just waiting for it to age well. Meltia can't help but notice how happy the Lord seems. He reveals to her that it is actually part of a tradition in his homeland for newlyweds to share a drink together. Because of that, he has always been planning to share a drink with her. Those words make Meltia blush again. That means this man has been looking forward to this all this time. But seeing him so happy about something so little makes her feel happy inside too. For a moment, she even wishes that this moment could last a little longer. Caught in the moment, she keeps requesting for another drink. Of course, the wife-smitten Ardle can't reject her. As such, a few moments later, we have a very drunk female lead. She is so drunk and dizzy, she instantly leans on Ardle's shoulders. But she can't deny, this feels really good. In her dizzy state, she seems to hear Lord Ardle saying he wants her to open her heart to him too. She is shocked and convinced she is mishearing. The only way the chief could say such things is if he has feelings for her, which she thinks is impossible. But her heart still races at the thought that he might have really said that. It is time for the two to go to bed. Ardle wants Meltia to rest in his room while he spends the night sleeping in the office. However, he doesn't expect his bride to be so bold. Meltia isn't willing to let him go yet, and so she drags him back. Blushing, she asks him to instead spend the night here with her. Ardle is shocked by what he hears, so much that he is convinced he must be mishearing things. Did his little bride just ask him to spend the night with her? Because he is so shocked, he doesn't reply quickly. Meltia misunderstands his silence as him not wanting to and is instantly disappointed. She becomes timid and drops her head, scolding herself for talking like a child. But she really doesn't want him to leave her yet. As if to prove her point, Ardle leans down and tells her he can't stay with her tonight. Meltia is very disappointed to hear this and even mocks herself for being too forward. Indeed, what was she expecting? Her husband is, after all, a busy man. Before she can drown in her sad thoughts, Ardle tells her he can stay with her until she falls asleep. Meltia is surprised and wants to be sure that is okay with him. He tells her as long as she is okay with it, then he is. Meltia hurriedly tells him she is fine with it. In fact, she can't wait. It is the next morning and our female lead is awake. Remembering the things she said last night, she feels ashamed. She was a bit too forward, even daring to hold the Lord back like that. And even worse, she just can't get that kiss out of her mind. Even right now, she can somehow still feel the taste of the kiss on her lips. Liza is done dressing her mistress. Going along with her maid's suggestion, Meltia decided to change her hairstyle a bit. And for some reason, even her heart feels free. Now that all the official events are over with no one watching her, it is finally time for her to start her real journey here in Ireburn. And also the first day she stops being cowardly and battles her trauma. She already has a list. First, she has to get rid of her fear of those warriors. And to achieve that, she has to get closer to them. So our girl sets out on her mission and goes looking for the soldiers. But heck, why are they all turning around and looking at her so seriously? She doesn't expect it and finds them very scary. Thankfully, Ardle's closest warriors rush out to her aid. Romisu and Quenzer greet her. Meltia finds their voices familiar, and indeed it is. It was those two who delivered that dress to her. Quenzer, the drama king, immediately gets all excited seeing Meltia approaching them willingly. He even tells her how moved he was by her speech yesterday. He was so touched, he almost shed a few tears. The warriors who all actually saw him crying. Romisu quickly drags this big dog back and asks Meltia what brought her over. Meltia isn't ready to lose her cool, and so she rushes to say what she is looking for. She needs someone who knows Ireburn very well. Since Lord Ardle is absent during the day, she wants to learn all about Ireburn and its work. The warriors are impressed with their chief's new bride, especially seeing how serious she is. The only thing they find strange is the large amount of distance between their new mistress and the rest of them. Romisu is determined to know the truth and asks Meltia if she is really afraid of warriors. Last night, at the banquet, she might have been able to control everything with her speech, but now he really wants to know if she looks down on the warriors. Meltia is panicking, but she still tells him the truth. She tells him she hasn't had the chance to meet many men during her lifetime, so she is still not used to them. However, she came here so she can truly get to know each and every one of these warriors very well and speak with them. Seeing the woman who is not afraid to be around them surprises the soldiers. After all, there have been different rumors about them floating around in the capital. Some say they have a dark aura, others insist the Northerns all eat human hearts. And these are just some of those rumors. And yet, even with all those horrible stories, there is someone who is actually willing to understand them. Since she is serious, Romisu recommends himself for the job, which Quenzer quickly supports. After all, There is no one more knowledgeable than Romisu in their village. The man is in charge of everything. He not only takes care of the castle, but even the village. In fact, that is the only usefulness his friend has. Romisu makes sure to add another bump to match the one he put on Quenzer's head before. After that, he leads Meltia away to show her around. Although she is still keeping some distance from the men, Meltia is pleased to see that she can keep her eyes open for much longer than before. She has to keep this up and do her best. Romisu tells her that if she wants to learn about the land, she must also learn about Ardle too. Meltia is surprised to hear this and asks about it. Romisu tells her he is aware Ardle is called a nightmare in their kingdom, but here in Ireburn he is a completely different person. He asks Meltia if she really wants to know who her husband is. Determined to show Meltia the truth about her husband, he immediately drags them along as he goes looking for Ardle. The two ladies behind him, of course, don't know of his plans and are busy struggling to keep up with him. Meltia is more confused, wondering where he is taking them to in such a hurry. They have gotten quite far away from the castle already. What exactly is Romisu looking for? Behind them, poor Liza is soon unable to keep up and soon falls over. She immediately starts crying, apologizing to her lady. Meltia, however, is more concerned about her maid and immediately runs back over to help her up. Seeing the two helping each other, Romisu is a bit surprised. According to what he has heard about the daughters of the kingdom, they are mostly rude and arrogant. This is his first time seeing one helping and getting along with her maid so well. He starts to wonder if he should walk a little slower. Their long journey has finally come to an end. Romisu shows them a long wheat field stretching up to the sea. Meltia is surprised to see it. The land is so big. It stretches out to the sea and seems to have no end. Different foods are planted. There is wheat, potato, barley, and even sheep. Everything they need to survive is right here. Romisu tells her that over here, they make their things themselves. If you want something, you make it. If it isn't enough, everybody in the country shares it. That's how they live in Ireburn. Meltia is happy to hear this and really likes this way of living. Suddenly, they hear some sounds behind them and turn around. They see a group of horses running towards them with a man leading the herd. Romisu tells them that they are free in Ireburn. Because they won the war, they are no longer under anyone's control. But that freedom was gotten by someone sacrificing himself. Looking at the man leading the horses, Meltia knows Romisu is talking about Ardle. Romisu confirms he is. In their tribe, it is the duty of the warrior to protect their freedom. It was only through one warrior's sacrifice that they took back their freedom from the kingdom. That man made it possible for them to be free. Because of this, he became someone that everybody looks up to in the north. And that man is their alliance leader, Lord Ardle. Staring at her husband riding his horse, Meltia is very proud of him. She can't help but admire him. One day, she also wants to be free like that. However, the three are definitely staring too much, because Ardle soon notices those looks and turns his head. Meltia becomes shy knowing he has noticed her. He is surprised they came all the way out here. Our female lead tells him Romisu was telling them all about the place. Ardle wants her to head back to the castle. It will soon be noon, and he isn't sure he will be back until it is sunset. He wants her to ride a horse back, but Meltia refuses, a bit scared. She finds it too much for a woman to ride a horse. Even more, she doesn't even know how to ride one. Back in the kingdom, riding a horse was the privilege of the lord, the woman's husband. Even his wife was not free to ride a horse. Therefore, Meltia can't imagine herself ever riding a horse. Ardle doesn't bother to argue with her and just grabs her and places her on the horse. This isn't the kingdom, he tells her. Here, she has no restrictions, so if she doesn't know how to ride a horse, she can learn. In his kingdom, there is nothing she cannot do. So Ardle asks her again what she wants to do, and she finally tells him she wants to ride a horse. She tells him she wants to support him and be by his side. The current her might not be worthy of supporting such a mighty and free man like Ardle, but she is determined to learn. She can start by at least learning how to ride a house. That way she could be more helpful as a wife. Ardle is pleased to hear her promising to stay by his side. Since she wants to, he is going to teach her how to ride a horse. However, the man isn't willing to do the job for free. He demands a reward for helping her. Meltia is surprised to hear him asking for a reward. She becomes anxious because she knows she has nothing of value to offer him. She is, however, thinking too much. What the man wants is simple and something she can afford 1,000 times over. He just wants to drink with her again. Such a cheap deal, girl. Better take it. Meltia is surprised he would think drinking with her is a reward, but since he has already put it this way, she agrees. Plus, secretly, she also wants to drink with him too. Ardle takes her over to see her ride for the day. It is a pretty black horse named Joru. Meltia doesn't hesitate and greets the horse. To everyone's surprise, the proud animal agrees arrogantly and even starts rubbing her body. Ardle is amused by this scene and starts smiling. He teaches her how to pet the house, showing her ways to stroke him. Meltia copies him, and the feeling of the horse surprises her so much she opens her eyes. She really likes this feeling. Unexpectedly, she looks at Ardle and the two mistakenly lock eyes. Meltia immediately turns her face away and starts blushing. Ardle is confused as he wonders why she is avoiding looking at him. The two are taking the horse for a walk. Meltia is sitting on the horse when she hears Ardle asking if he should get her own horse. Meltia immediately refuses, saying she can't let him do too much for her. Ardle reminds her of her vow to always be by his side supporting him. Confused, Meltia tells him she can't take his precious horse. Ardle reminds her he has plenty of horses, so she doesn't need to worry about that. And instead, he suddenly grabs her hands and tells her they can take it slow, but this time on her level. From now on, it will only be about what she wants to do and how she feels. He places her hand on his cheek and begs her to share her thoughts with him. He really just wants to know more about her. Those sweet words make Meltia blush. The two start their riding practice. Hearing Ardle praise her for doing so well makes Meltia very happy. She can't remember the last time someone praised her like this. She is determined to keep practicing until she can ride on her own. Watching them, Romisu is very surprised. He has never seen his boss look so happy before. He is even smiling so gently. The Ardle he knows is like a rock, always quiet and looking out into the distance. Never once has he seen that man smile. Yet now that he is with his wife, he looks so different from the man he spent all his days with in battle. The couple are enjoying their ride. Ardle is worried his little wife might be tired, but Meltia insists she is not. But truthfully, her whole body is starting to go numb, but she is enjoying the moment too much, and she doesn't want to complain about it. She asks Ardle if they can keep riding for a little longer. Once again, the wife-smitten man can't say no, but he warns her that if she keeps riding, she won't be able to move for days because of the muscle pain. He wants her to rest before she continues. Meltia has also discovered something strange. Even after they have stopped riding, her heart is still racing so fast, but yet she feels so at ease and warm. And that is how our female lead gets sleepy and almost falls over from the horse. Ardle notices and asks if she is all right. She says she is and is just about to apologize for wasting his time when suddenly, her foot kicks the horse. The poor animal mistakes it for a signal to run and immediately starts racing. Caught off guard, the couple immediately start to fall off the horse. The house begins to start running. Since Meltia isn't balanced, she starts to fall. She is in shock as she notices this and closes her eyes. However, the expected pain doesn't come. Instead, she lands on a man's body. Ardle is deeply worried his wife might have been hurt and keeps checking her body searching for injuries. The woman suddenly starts trembling, scaring the poor man. However, she isn't crying but laughing very badly. Ardle is confused to see this. Meltia apologizes and tells him she was surprised. He is confused as to why she fell off a house but isn't afraid, and instead can laugh about it. Then Meltia tells him she was scared because from the moment he pulled her into his arms, all her fears just flew away. Ardle laughs and jokingly calls her brave. Those words send Meltia thinking. Ever since she couldn't open her eyes in front of men, she has always lived every day of her life in fear. No matter how much she desperately wished to become stronger, she couldn't change anything. But this time around, she wants to change. She wants to become strong, to live her life without fear and have her husband see it. She suddenly notices a little wound on her husband's cheek and she nearly faints. She is so worried about him. She seems to have forgotten her fear, rushing to check his body for other injuries. Ardle can't take it anymore and rubs her little head, telling her to calm down. For him, as long as she is okay, that is all that matters. Nearby, two anxious servants come rushing over. Liza is about to die from worry and keeps asking if her mistress is all right. Meltia tries to convince them she is okay, but a sneeze betrays her. Ardle rushes to take off his cloak and put it over her. He is worried she has caught a cold after being exposed to the wind. He orders the servants to head back to the castle and prepare a bath for his wife. Romisu immediately drags a struggling Liza away. The chief is looking for some alone time with his wife, and you're talking about wanting to stay with your lady? Now that they are alone, Ardle is ready to take his wife home. However, before they can leave, a large head rubs on Meltia, startling her into opening her eyes. It is the cute horse looking so sorry. Ardle tells her he must want to apologize, and Meltia spends the next minute comforting the horse. Ardle can only stand back and watch his wife, falling deeper in love with her. Back at home, a little problem seems to have come up. We don't know if Romisu forgot or he is just being sneaky. But he prepared the bath for the both of them. He even urges them to go in while it is still hot. Looking at the huge bathtub, Meltia is so nervous her soul is about to fly away. Thankfully, Ardle is quite smart and quickly tells Meltia to take her bath first. Then he would go in later. Romisu immediately plays his part. He acts guilty, saying he thought as a married couple they would bathe together, so he prepared only one bath. Meltia is startled and wonders if married couples in Ireburn bathe together. Romisu, without blinking an eye, immediately lies that they are short on staff. He even acts pitiful and says he is going to go prepare another bath for them then. Meltia is feeling guilty for bothering him and immediately agrees to share one bath. And the crafty Romisu, who has achieved his plan, immediately runs away. Ardle immediately apologizes, sure she agreed only because of him. Meltia, on the other hand, is busy thinking. Romisu is right. She and Ardle are already a married couple, one that should have already even had their wedding night. Ardle, unaware of what she is thinking, is sure she doesn't want him here and goes out to call her maid. To his shock, Meltia suddenly grabs his clothes and stops him. A little shy, she asks him to bathe together with her. A nervous Ardle holds her face and asks her if she understands what that means. Ardle wants Meltia to be sure of what she is saying. Meltia doesn't go back on her words and tells him she understands. She only has one request, though. He should save their first time for the bedroom. Ardle himself wasn't expecting Meltia to say the words she did. He hadn't been planning to do anything to her, but the thought of the first night has got him all excited. Especially when he hears those footsteps coming from behind. Ardle is all tensed up. All of a sudden, the approaching Meltia slips, her leg touching Ardle's body. The poor boy almost turns into a rock. Shocked, he looks at her, only to see her staring at him too. The poor girl immediately closes her eyes while Ardle starts sweating too. He quickly looks away and starts to apologize. Our female lead also starts blushing. Someone say, awkward. I think our male lead might need someone to rescue him. He seems about to die of awkwardness. Even our ever-shy Meltia has relaxed, enjoying the bath while all he can think about is how close she is. The ignorant girl soon starts making conversation, talking about the horse and how intelligent it is. Girl, do you think that man cares right now? He can't even form a proper sentence and all he says is, yeah. Even Meltia has noticed something is wrong and now is starting to feel bad. She thinks she might have made him angry by insisting on joining him in the bath, which is why he wouldn't talk to her. But she is determined. She can't give up now, and so she boldly declares her desire to wash her husband. Our ignorant male lead has already said yes before he realizes what she said, and instantly protests. However, our girl is already up and ready to work. The poor man can't stand the sight of her beauty and quickly looks away, turning his back for her to wash. He even starts to stammer. Our dear girl is happy to be useful and goes off to wash her husband's back. Oh my, what a piece of art that back is. Meltia is amazed by it, but is also touched when she sees the many scars on it. If even Ardle, who is feared as the pale blue nightmare, has this many scars, then it must have been a very fierce battle. Remembering that he was stuck fighting the war for many years, she feels very sorry for him. Ardle notices the change in her emotions and asks what is wrong. Our girl doesn't answer but keeps touching him. He is about to tell her what will happen if she continues, but she instead asks about the scars and if they hurt. Of course not, girl. The war was years ago. Those scars have healed by now. For Meltia, the war might be over, but the horrors of that time still haunt her. She feels sad because it is during that stupid war she got ill. Now she can't even look her own husband in the face. To console herself, she leans on his chest to hide her tears. She admires his strength, but he tells her she was also strong. Meltia is surprised to hear this, so he repeats it again. She doesn't understand why he would say that, so he tells her he knows. He praises her again for being such a strong person. Our girl is still confused because she doesn't understand what he means. What does he know? Ardle has changed his focus as there are more pressing issues to address. For one, he has to let Meltia know that the longer she continues pressing against his chest, the lower the chances of their first time not happening here. The poor girl is almost frightened away and hurriedly pulls back, apologizing. Oh my god, this scene. Just seeing the body of Lord Ardle is enough to give any girl a nosebleed. Such a pity Meltia doesn't open her eyes. Ardle turns to his wife and tells her it is now her turn. Since she has washed him, it is only proper for him to also help her wash too. The confused Meltia, who doesn't know how this sudden topic came about. Romisu can't believe his eyes. He has just caught peeping Thomas. Looking at Liza, who has almost molded herself into the door just to peek, he is confused. The girl herself can't be bothered with him and asks him to leave her alone. All her concern is on her lady. If something happens to her, she must be ready to rush in and help her. Romisu doesn't know what to do with this ignorant girl. He tells her the truth. There is only one thing that can happen when a man and a woman take a bath together, and it is certainly not dangerous. Liza's head must be blank right now. Look at that vacant look. She really can't believe her sweet, innocent miss is about to be eaten up by that man. The poor girl starts freaking out as Romisu pulls her away. Not her sweet lady. Her sweet lady is also freaking out inside too. Did Ardle just say he is going to wash her? Like, really wash her? I think her thinking ability really got destroyed because she asks if he is going to wash her in such a bright room. Girl, you didn't turn off the lights either. The poor girl is freaking out badly. Seeing the man already looking for supplies, she tries to convince herself it is natural for husband and wives to take baths together, just like Romisu said. The innocent warrior argues that he never said that. And so our dear girl has brainwashed herself into letting Ardle wash her body. After all, it is her duty as a wife. She boldly says she understands which pleases Ardle. He is about to talk when his wife suddenly pulls off her towel. For the first time, Ardle really blushes. Looking at that back that has turned totally pink from shyness, I won't blame him though. Meltia looks good. Unfortunately, he controls himself and quickly closes his eyes. He tells her to stop and tells her he only planned to wash her hair for today. So she doesn't really need to get undressed. What a coward. Meltia is about to die of embarrassment. Ardle doesn't let her go and tells her she can be very bold at times. Boy, can't you see this girl's soul is gone? Her eyes have turned into the famous curls of extinction. But the Lord seems determined today. He even asks her about her statement when she said the first time has to be done in the bedroom. He wants to know if she was testing him. Meltia is so startled she turns back, forgetting he is washing her hair. He sets her right back. However, there seems to be something wrong. Did this man dump half the bottle of soap on her hair? It turns out to be effective, though, as her hair becomes shiny and beautiful. Ardle can't help but admire it. He tells her it looks like a field of wheat ready to be harvested. Really, boy? That's the best? What happened to it looks like moonlight? Even Meltia has to laugh because this is the first time someone has praised her by comparing her hair to wheat. She tells him she also wants to see that field of wheat. Her smile is too much for the poor man, and he quickly looks away to hide his red cheeks. He promises to take her to see it next time. When the harvest season arrives, he'll show her. And so the two have a date. Today will be Meltia's first time eating together with her husband. Well, not really her husband, more like a group of starving men. Since Ardle eats with his warriors, she will also have to share this meal with them, but she's more amazed to see the mountain of food and the men eagerly rushing to bring it down. Ardle, as usual, is concerned about her and wants to know if this is really okay. Meltia assures him she is fine. Since she is going to be living here from now on, she will need to learn about the lives of the people as soon as possible. She wants to know if Lord Ardle has always eaten here. Before he can answer, a war breaks out at the dining table. It turns out someone has stolen another person's meat. This causes chaos with different people talking. Meltia is happy to see this as everywhere is so lively. Seeing her happy, Ardle also smiles. Just from his voice, Meltia can tell how much he cares about everyone. She is curious, though, since she hasn't seen Quenser. Judging by how much that guy loves meat, he should have been the first person here for dinner. It is strange to see that he is late. Someone suggests he might be chasing a wild boar. Listening to the conversations, Meltia finds it very relaxing. Everyone is so close, like a real family. She had never known the castle could be so peaceful. Everything is really different from her father's Duke mansion. But while these people enjoy a bit of happiness, someone somewhere is waiting to destroy it and bring their downfall. Over at the Kingdom of Wellin in the royal palace, a sneaky figure is reporting to his lord. The man is sitting on a throne, but his face is hidden. All we can see is fingers covered in jewels. Upon hearing the news brought to him, the lord laughs happily. It seems they have planned something evil. He curses the whole north, calling them dogs, their pride, their freedom. He wants them to prepare to say goodbye to it all and bow down at his feet. The man and his servant share a wicked laugh. Back at Ireburn, the missing Quenzer suddenly rushes in looking panicked. What he brings is news that will shake the whole kingdom and turn everything around. He announces that a terrible epidemic has broken out in the village of Morica. Ardle and Meltia are in shock after hearing this. Little do they know that with the arrival of this news, everything they have managed to build so far is going to be threatened. Quenzer has arrived with bad news. There is an epidemic spreading around the country. While the soldiers murmur, our hero doesn't panic. He immediately orders supplies, fetches the doctor, and prepares to leave. Meltia has some idea of what is happening. Years ago, an epidemic also spread in the kingdom. Back then, she was locked up in the castle by her father. He only released her so she could join the monastery and volunteer to treat the victims. She still has some knowledge and decides to do her best to help Ardle. She approaches the man and tells him her idea, only to get rejected. He orders her to stay behind and even refuses to listen to her explanation. Ardle actually thinks this is a simple issue. They have had epidemic attacks in the past, so it shouldn't be a big deal. They just need to begin treatment quickly and everything will be fine. Well, not this time. The man pets his little wife's head, and after ordering Romisu to stay behind, he leaves. Meltia is feeling weird, and it isn't because she is missing her husband, although that is also a reason. Our heroine has a bad feeling about this trip. She tries to convince herself that everything will be okay, but the feeling never disappears, and we see why. Our hero has arrived in Morica and rushes to see the infected. They all have a fever, dark spots on their body, and keep vomiting. The old nurse is convinced this is Biru fever. The warriors are happy, thinking it can be cured, but the old nurse is really worried. None of the medicine she prepares is working on them. The warriors think it might be a different disease, but the woman is sure it is Biru. The disease has evolved and now she has no idea how to treat it. She promises to do her best, but she isn't sure she can cure them. Ardle thanks her. He orders Quenzer to search the other villages and look for similar symptoms. He wants all the villages to be closed down. No one can enter without his permission. The warriors gather around the campfire. They are all worried about the new epidemic. Some believe it will be okay and Grandma Sonia is going to find a cure. The rest of the warriors are more curious about the epidemic source. One of the warriors suggests it might be the kingdom. It seems really suspicious. Right after they marry a bride from the kingdom, they suddenly have a new epidemic. Well, this rumor spreads all the way to Ireburn. Our heroine is taking a walk when she hears two maids gossiping. They have also heard the rumors and believe the kingdom is behind the epidemic. They are afraid it would lead to another war. They regret trusting the kingdom and having a marriage alliance with them. Our heroine is in shock after hearing the nasty rumor and begins to panic. Days have passed and Lord Ardle has finally returned. Once Meltia hears this, she runs downstairs quickly, almost like it is a race. She is very excited to see her husband and goes to greet him, but the man orders her to stop and warns her to stay away from him. For the first time, Ardle rejects her. He orders Romisu to send her back to her room and cruelly leaves. Our heroine looks really disappointed. Just like we guessed, the epidemic isn't simple. Days later, the infected villagers began to die, making the people of Ireburn panic. Meltia is alone again. Ardle rushes back to Morica after hearing the news. She is still upset about his rejection, but she understands him. He is probably afraid of passing the illness to her. She wonders if the kingdom is behind the epidemic and the thought terrifies her. If another war starts, what is she supposed to do? Lisa passes by and is upset to see her mistress looking sad. But something even worse happens. A maid suddenly appears and throws a tray of food at Meltia. She accuses her of spreading the disease and harming her family. She is tired of the kingdom's evil and vows never to forgive Meltia. She leaves, but her words have destroyed the girl. She tries to speak and defend herself, but she is trembling too hard. Liza is heartbroken. She was happy about Meltia's marriage, hoping she will finally be free from her father's torment. But even in a new place, her mistress still suffers. The maid is upset because her only wish is to see Meltia happy. She hugs her mistress and vows to do her best to protect her. Meltia is touched by Liza's words. After her marriage, Liza was the only one willing to follow her to the enemy's nation. She feels guilty for neglecting the girl after arriving in Ireburn. She apologizes to the maid and suddenly declares her love for her. Her words make Liza happy, and she tells Meltia she loves her too. She promises to be by her side always. To Meltia, Liza is her precious person, and she is willing to do anything to protect her. She goes looking for Romisu and tells him her wish. She wants to visit Morica. Of course, Romisu refuses. Meltia wants to know if the disease is really from the kingdom and begs him to help her. Romisu wants to help, but the villages have all been sealed off by Ardle. No one can enter without his permission. Besides, his lord is a wife slave. He will be upset to see his wife in Morica. But the lord's wife is really stubborn. She is desperate to know the truth before more people die. She insists on visiting and vows to ask Lord Ardle herself. Romisu has no choice but to agree. His life is so pitiful. His lord is definitely going to scold him. Still, he prepares the carriage for Meltia. The trip will take 3 days, which makes him worry. He doesn't forget to praise his boss and hands Meltia some flowers. He says Ardle gave it to him. The Lord wants to see the flowers with Meltia when the epidemic ends. Our girl is touched. Ardle always has a way to make her happy. Romisu wishes her good luck and our heroine's journey to save the world begins. Liza is worried because they have no one to protect them. Meltia seduces the poor girl again and says she feels safe with Liza here. While the girl is starstruck, our heroine thinks about her husband. He has always been so sweet and kind. She wonders how angry he will be when he sees her. Meltia actually feels guilty. She has been taking advantage of Ardle's kindness. She has always been a scaredy cat, even afraid to look at men. She blamed her illness and always thought of herself as a victim whom everyone should pity. But now she is ready to change. She is done relying on people's kindness to survive. From now on, she will rely on herself. Our heroine wakes up the next morning to see her maid sleeping soundly. The little girl is even drooling. After covering up the girl, Meltia takes a walk around and admires the countryside. She wishes Ardle was here so she could spend this moment with him. She is afraid, worried the kingdom might really be behind the epidemic. If that is true, the peace talks will end and her marriage with Ardle will be ruined. Meltia is determined to do her best to prevent this. She feels really lonely and misses her husband. Over at Marika, Ardle has no idea his wife is rushing over to save the day. He keeps overworking and refuses to rest. Suddenly, a warrior rushes in with an announcement that will change everything. Ardle's wife has arrived in the village. Our hero rushes out on his horse to the village entrance. He really sees his little wife there and is furious, asking why she is here. Meltia is really nervous, but she is also determined. She tells Ardle she is ready to be scolded, but her punishment will have to wait until the epidemic ends. Ardle once again refuses, but this time, Meltia won't accept his answer. The only thing she has ever wanted was to live in peace. She has made up her mind and decides to stay here until the epidemic ends. She is prepared to stand by his side and fulfill her duty as his wife. The girl is really determined and for the first time opens her eyes. The man is in shock while Meltia notices something. This is supposed to be a serious moment, but just looking at Ardle makes her heart flutter. Back to serious matters. Meltia bows and begs Ardle to give her a chance. She wants to become a wife he is proud of. Our male lead is obviously struggling. Meltia reminds him of their wedding vow. Even in sickness and death, they promised to be together. It seems that the promise wasn't enough for him, so Meltia made the vow again. Ardle is moved and hugs her. He swears with all his heart to be together forever. Meltia starts crying, happy that he has finally accepted her. The man is surprised to see her opening her eyes and she tells him she isn't afraid anymore. Ardle is pleased. He is eager to spend time with her, almost as if he wasn't the one chasing her away. They plan to meet tonight and Meltia begs to help with the treatment. He is surprised to hear that, but she says she has experience. Back in the kingdom, she worked in the monastery and taught medicine. She has even gathered some medicinal herbs along the way. She heard some rumors back in the castle about people dying from the epidemic. Her only wish is to prevent more deaths. Now it is Ardle's turn to be surprised. It turns out the rumors about people dying were just rumors. No one has died from the disease. Meltia is happy to hear this, but things are still serious. The number of infected people keeps rising, and none of the antidotes are working. Meltia vows to work with him and find the cure quickly. The couple return to Marika and immediately visit the sick. Meltia is heartbroken when she sees a sick little child. She tries to comfort the boy when a warrior suddenly rushes in. He has urgent news to report, so Meltia sends Ardle away. Our heroine is left alone with Grandma Sonia. She feels nervous and tries to calm herself. The kingdom has managed to recover from the epidemic, so there must be a cure. She examines the child and discovers a large amount of poison in his body. The old granny reveals she has tried different antidotes, but nothing is working. Meltia prescribes another medicine, and the two women start preparing a new antidote. Meanwhile, a group of maids gathers around gossiping about Meltia. They aren't pleased to see her as they all believe the kingdom is behind the attack. They are sure Meltia is planning something evil again. Our heroine knows they all dislike her. No one really believed her marriage would bring peace. Even now, they are watching her so closely. Meltia is hurt. She is risking her life trying to save the nation, yet all the people do is gossip about her. The girl manages to create an antidote and feeds it to all the patients. By the time she is done, it is already evening and Lord Ardle arrives for their little date. When he hears how hard she is working, he feels grateful. But there is more good news. Meltia's antidote has worked, and now all the patients are better. Meltia goes to see the little child, who happily thanks her. Ardle is shocked. He has never seen such a fast recovery and thanks Meltia again. The girl is very modest and praises Granny Siona instead. The old lady is tired of the flirting couple and chases them away. She orders them to rest and is pleased to see Ardle looking happy with his wife. Instead of going to rest, Lord Ardle takes his wife to a hidden place. They are finally alone. He still can't believe she is willing to look at him and wonders if this is a dream. He thinks his eyes are scary, but Meltia absolutely loves them. She could look at them all day. Ardle is moved and hugs her. He apologizes for the mean words he said and how he rejected her, but Meltia completely understands him. She keeps looking at him, but her innocent gaze is enough to seduce the man. He can't control himself any longer. Well, Meltia doesn't want him to hold back. She tells him not to stop and allows him to touch her. Our hero can't hold it anymore. Under the moonlight, the couple shares their first kiss. Our couple shares their first kiss, and things quickly become heated. Our heroine must have been possessed by the god of lust. She knows Ardle must be in pain, but she refuses to stop. Just looking at him makes her happy. She wants to become his. Even when he pulls away, she keeps kissing him. Ardle can't control himself anymore and begs her to stop, but Meltia doesn't listen. She only stops when she is about to lose her breath. She hides her face from him, making the man panic. He thinks it must have been too much, but the truth is, our heroine really enjoyed it. She never wants to forget this feeling. The man is proud and teases her, promising to do it more often. Our girl is really embarrassed and her whole face turns red. She stops feeling shy and looks at her husband. He looks so gentle when he smiles. She is happy because he waited for her until she overcame her trauma. Now she can finally look at him. It is the man's turn to feel shy. He believes he hasn't done anything, but Meltia says he inspired her. When he left, she finally realized how weak she was. Her illness was just an excuse to push him away. Everyone says she isn't worthy to be his bride, but Meltia is determined to change. She will become a wife he is proud of. She will then look him in the face and confess her feelings. The man is touched and hugs her. He tells her he has always been proud of her. She refuses to talk about her past, but Ardle is sure she must have suffered back in the kingdom. She was terrified of men, so all he could do was wait for her to accept him. His only wish is to understand her. Meltia makes up her mind and decides to tell Ardle about her past. The man is very angry when he hears the truth. He hates the kingdom and Meltia's father even more. He keeps comforting her throughout the conversation. Our heroine actually can't remember her past. The things she experienced in the castle were too horrible, so she lost her memories. She can't even remember her childhood, but from what her father said, she wasn't so weak back then. She feels ashamed, but is determined to tell him the truth. She might have gone through so many horrible things in the past, but she really isn't afraid of Ardle. She tells the man this and even wants to become a real couple with him. Ardle is touched and hugs her. He is glad she trusts him. Meltia is happy because he always comforts her, but she is also scared. She thinks he is only treating her well because he feels responsible for her. She isn't special to him, and even if it were another woman, he would still treat her kindly. The thought makes our heroine sad, but she makes up her mind to do her best. She wants to keep treating the patients and asks for his permission. She wants to find out the cause of the disease. Ardle stops her and tells her to rest. He makes a bold offer. He wants her to sleep in his room tonight. Meltia is really concerned. Ardle promised not to let her go, but she didn't expect him to hold her all night. The girl is nervous and keeps remembering their kiss. She is sure Ardle can hear her heartbeat, but she isn't the only one feeling nervous. Ardle's heart is also beating fast, and listening to this sound, Meltia falls asleep. The man watches her sleep. It turns out Ardle actually met Meltia 7 years ago. He wondered why she didn't remember his face, but now he realizes she lost her memories. It seems the two were even close friends. Since Meltia has forgotten their memories, he makes up his mind not to tell her anything. 2 weeks have passed, and our heroine finally produces an antidote. The cause of the disease has been found, and it turns out to be chicken eggs. So simple. Ardle separates the chickens from the villagers, and the epidemic immediately ends. Meltia still believes the kingdom must have planned this. She is sure they must have another plan, so they have to be prepared. Finally, our couple can return to the castle and the investigations. Ardle is ready to leave, but Meltia still has one more thing to do. She approaches the maids who gossiped about her and thanks them for their help. She even hands them a potion book. The maids feel guilty and thank Meltia for her help. She has saved their village and they promise to treasure her book for generations. Everyone looks happy, and even Ardle smiles. Quenser teases him, and our hero immediately tries to look serious. But he isn't fooling anyone. Everyone can see how crazy he is about his wife. Quenser keeps praising Meltia. She has finally opened her eyes, and he notices how cute she is. Quenser's words might be innocent, but our lord is already jealous. He looks like a big demon as he warns Quenser not to look at his wife anymore. The poor boy feels wronged. He isn't the only one staring at Meltia. The other warriors all admire her. Truly, Ardle can see a warrior speaking to Meltia, and he nearly explodes. Quenser tells him the warriors are all curious about her since she is Ardle's wife. Meltia and Ardle are finally ready to leave. Quenser is staying behind and promises to complete the work. The villagers all gather around to see them off. Back at the castle, Romisu has turned into a little butler. He is preparing for the couple's return and orders their bedroom to be cleaned. He even prepares a bath and wine for them. Romisu, what are you planning? The boy was actually afraid when Meltia insisted on going to Marika, but from Leiza's letters, he knows everything went well. The little girl should really be a reporter. She notices and writes about everything. Just as we thought, Romisu has a plan. He wants the couple to have a child. He believes this would bring peace to the two kingdoms. Our couple has no idea someone is already planning their future. They are still on the journey and are even sharing a horse. It should be romantic, but our heroine's focus is all on making medicine. Ardle wonders why she is so silent, and she tells him that the trees around can be turned into medicine. She plans to return to this forest. Ardle praises her love for medicine, which makes Meltia shy. She feels inferior and is just happy her little skills have helped him. The man thinks her hands might have been injured from preparing medicine. Meltia is ashamed, afraid her hands look ugly. He reminds her that those hands saved the village. To him, they are very beautiful. He even kisses her fingers. Meltia is touched. She always thought she was a useless person, but Lord Ardle makes her feel useful. She has also noticed his sacrifices. Most times he goes hunting at dawn just to make sure the villagers have enough food. The man is surprised she notices, but even then thinks he might have disturbed her sleep. She doesn't scold him and instead praises him. The man pretends to be composed, but her words make him very happy. His chest suddenly feels hot. Back at Marika, he could only control himself, but now he can't hold back anymore. He wants to become intimate with her right now, but he knows he can't do it here. He suddenly hugs Meltia and asks for her permission. Tonight, he wants to become intimate with her. Prayers are answered. Our couple finally arrives at the castle. Romisu gathers the servants and welcomes them back. He praises them, making Meltia shy. He has noticed her injured hands and how she is completely covered in dirt. He never thought she would do so much for the village. He informs them the bath is ready. Ardle tells Meltia to leave first since he has something to discuss with Romisu. He suddenly leans over and promises to see her tonight. Our heroine is suddenly shy. She remembers his words from before and how he hugged her. She knows what he is planning and panics. She isn't afraid. She is unhappy because she is covered in dirt. Tonight, she must look pretty in front of him. She calls for Leiza and the girl rushes in like she has been waiting for this day. She has even prepared her magic brush and is determined to make her mistress shine. Our dear Romisu is in trouble. He disobeyed Ardle's order and allowed Meltia to leave the palace. He even let her go into Marika, an infected village. He apologizes to Ardle and is ready to receive his punishment. The Lord reminds Romisu he is the leader of northern Ireburn, and Meltia is his only wife. He won't allow anyone to harm her. If they do, they will have to face his sword. Romisu is impressed by his lord. Ardle was only 24 when he became their leader and has been ruling for 3 years. He might look calm, but he actually has a beastly strength no one can match. He commands everyone's worship just by existing. Romisu might be a man, but even he is almost seduced by his lord's aura. He suddenly wonders how his lord's little wife will cope. Our girl is also worried as she prepares for her first night with Ardle. She still remembers the instructions she was given back in the kingdom. She is nervous but is determined to do her best. Their first night is a symbol of peace, so she must fulfill her duty. The maid tells her Ardle is still busy and will be late. Meltia already knows how hard he works. Even in Marika, he did his best for the villagers without resting. She makes up her mind to support him. She heads to the balcony to think. She still believes the epidemic was planned by the kingdom. They must be trying to create a rebellion within Ireburn. Since they can't win in battle, they will create fake rumors about a disease and make the citizens panic. Their plan is to bring down the government. Meltia isn't ignorant. She knows her marriage to Ardle wasn't to bring peace. The kingdom plans to use her marriage to occupy the north. She wants to know more about the north. That is the only way she can stop the kingdom's plans. She hears the door open, and Lord Ardle rushes in. The man looks scared and suddenly hugs her. He was worried when he arrived in the room and didn't see her. He actually believes she is trying to run away, convinced she doesn't want to spend the night with him. Our heroine is shocked and wonders where he got such wrong ideas. She immediately hugs him and tells him she was just thinking. He is confused, so she reveals her plan to know more about the north. She tells him she only came to the balcony to admire the moon, but somehow, the more she tries to explain, the more it sounds fake. She doesn't know what to say and just tells the man she is ready. She shyly tells him her maid has washed her so he can do whatever he wants. Her words stir the man, and he starts kissing her. He apologizes for misunderstanding her, but even then doesn't let her go. The poor girl has been kissed silly by him. He is pleased to see her all dressed up for him and praises her beauty. He stops, making the girl confused, but he has bigger plans and suddenly carries her. She has always wanted their first time to be in bed, and he is ready to fulfill her request. The man carries her back to the room. Our heroine is nervous and keeps repeating the rules she was taught in the kingdom. She is supposed to keep silent and focus on serving her husband, but the only thing she can focus on now is Ardle's kisses. Every time he touches her, she forgets all about the rules she was taught. Meltia thinks she might be in a dream. She has been preparing for this day for so long, but now that the time has come, she is very nervous. The man notices and offers to pour her some wine, but Meltia refuses. She doesn't want to be drunk on her first night with Ardle. She really wants to enjoy every moment with him. The girl takes off her clothes and approaches the man first. Their passionate night begins. Our couple had a long night. Ardle wakes up hugging his wife and feels very pleased. No matter how many times he touches Meltia, he just can't get enough of her. Her skin is beautiful and she is just so thin and soft. But soon he becomes sad. It took him 6 years to finally find her, and he is afraid she must have suffered a lot. He feels guilty and vows to always be by her side from now on. He is going to protect her no matter what. Our heroine is dreaming. It is more like her old memories are returning. It is a cold winter day and she sees Ardle in her dreams. He keeps calling her name, promising to come back for her. Meltia starts crying in her dream. Ardle is surprised to see his beloved crying. He panics and wakes her up. He wants to know what happened, but Meltia is also confused. All she remembers is that she had a strange dream. Our heroine has slept for too long. She is ready to start her day and fulfill her duties, but the man stops her. He is worried she might be too tired and wants her to rest for the day. Meltia immediately remembers their wild night. They had fun all night and only stopped when it was dawn. The naughty man still wants to join her for her bath. Thankfully, he has a meeting with the elders and our heroine is spared. He tells her to relax for the day. Meltia is curious, wondering why the man isn't tired. He finds it funny and tells her those rounds aren't enough to tire him out. He can even do it 10 more times. Our heroine is scared. 10 more times? She remembers how strong her husband is and admits it might be true. But just because he can do it doesn't mean her body is strong enough to take it. Meltia wants her man to spend the day with her, but is too scared to say it. She is afraid he would call her selfish. Now she really wishes she had his strength. She decides to work hard and build up her stamina so she can match her husband. Her first goal is to practice horse riding. For the first time, we see Lord Ardle laughing happily. You can't blame him. His wife is too adorable. Meltia is stunned by her husband's handsome face. She has never seen such a big smile in her life. The man apologizes for laughing, but her words are just too cute. The girl knows her goal is impossible and also laughs. The couple share a sweet moment. Ardle has prepared a little gift for his wife and hands her a little box. She is very curious and he encourages her to open it. He has prepared a useful gift for her. Our heroine opens the box only to see a key. She is a bit confused and wonders what it is for. Ardle tells her it is a key to a place she likes. Well, there is only one place our heroine likes, the herbs room. Ardle has given her the key to the medicine room. Meltia is very grateful. She thanks the man, but he doesn't think it is a big deal. Well, it is for her. He always thinks about her favorite things, which makes her happy. Now she can make more medicine for the castle. Ardle panics when he hears this. He only gave her the keys so she can have fun when bored. He doesn't want his wife doing extra work. Meltia is touched by his kind words, but is also upset. He keeps talking like she is a guest at his house. She really wants everyone in the castle to accept her. Her only wish is to stay by Ardle's side as his wife and repay his kindness. The man is touched by her feelings and hugs her. His wife really has a sweet mouth. Every time she speaks, he is always amazed. Ardle doesn't regret marrying her. She makes him so happy he can't explain it with words. She has melted his heart, and he vows to live well with her. Outside, 2 stray cats are spying on the results of their work. Romisu and Liza are happy to see their plans work. The couple looks very happy. Romisu takes the 2 ladies to the medicine room. Meltia insists on opening the door with the key Ardle gave her. It makes her really happy. Our heroine's happiness doubles when she enters the room. It is filled with medicine. Romisu says they were all gathered by the previous leader, Lord Taranok. Meltia is curious about him. She has heard about the Lord. He ruled the empire up until 3 years ago. Just like Ardle, he was a famous warrior, but she never knew he liked medicine too. Romisu can see how curious she is, and decides to tell her more about Ardle and the former lord. Yes, please. He reveals Ardle isn't the lord's real child. Our hero is actually an orphan. Lord Taranok picked him up at the age of 10 and brought him into the palace. Meltia is surprised to hear this. She really doesn't know much about Ardle. Well, Romisu is here to help her. He knows the lord doesn't like talking about himself, but giving Meltia this key shows he is ready to share his past with her. The girl looks confused until Romisu reveals this room is important to Lord Ardle. It contains a lot of his memories. Now, why would a medicine room be important to Ardle? Well, the past lord was a well-known slacker. He disliked dealing with government affairs and preferred to laze around. The medicine room was his favorite place to hide when he wanted to escape his duties. Ardle would come looking for him, begging him to go back. The old man would refuse, and then they would fight. But the 2 were also very close. They would hide in the room together, making medicine, listening to stories, and even sleeping. It was really a peaceful life. Knowing that Ardle was happy when growing up makes our heroine glad. She has also gotten greedy. Ardle might have given her access to his special place, but she wants more. She wants to meet his father. Romisu encourages her. Since the old man lives nearby, she could drag Ardle over to visit him. Meltia is happy with this idea, but she soon becomes sad. Everyone in Ireburn has been so kind to her, yet the kingdom keeps causing trouble. When she asks Romisu, he also believes the epidemic was caused by the kingdom. They are the only ones who would benefit if Ireburn is ruined. Meltia knows this is true. The kingdom was rich before, but the royals and nobles wasted all the wealth. They focused on making money for themselves and abandoned the citizens. Right now, the kingdom is in ruins and the people are extremely poor. Instead of rebuilding, they decide to take over the north and steal their wealth. Scumbags! Romisu has actually figured out the kingdom's plan. Since their medicine is so advanced, they purposely caused the epidemic so they could sell the cure to the north at outrageous prices. Because of the epidemic, the north would be forced to buy it. Who knows? The kingdom could even have gotten some land from them. Unfortunately, Meltia ruined all their plans. They didn't even record any deaths. But Romisu is still cautious. The kingdom's plan might have failed, but he believes they still have something else planned. Well, Meltia has figured out their second plan. The kingdom wants the northerners to dislike her and cause her death. Losing her won't affect the kingdom. In fact, even her own father wouldn't care. If the north had attacked her, the kingdom would protest and accuse them of breaking the peace treaty. No matter how you look at it, the kingdom was bound to benefit from everything. Romisu is really disgusted. Meltia is glad the northerners are trying to accept her. She knows the kingdom is trying to stir trouble in the north and will do her best to stop them. She orders Romisu to seek her help if anything happens. The man is confused and wonders why she helps the north. The girl's answer is simple. She is Lord Ardle's wife. She will never allow anyone to harm the north, even if it is her own country. She vows to block all the kingdom's attempts and protect the north until peace is achieved. Romisu is touched by her words, but before he can become emotional, they hear a loud noise coming from outside. Someone is trying to break in. They all rush out only to see their warriors injured. Meltia is alarmed, especially when she sees the intruder. It is Lord Seorus. The man seems to have come for her and demands to speak to her. Romisu is on guard, wondering what he wants to talk about. Since Ardle isn't here, he refuses to let the man even look at Meltia and orders him to leave. Fat chance. The man scolds Romisu and calls him a dog. He came here with just one purpose: to force Meltia to admit her guilt and take the blame for the epidemic. That way, her reputation would be ruined. Now, he mocks Meltia, calling her a coward who can't even receive her own guests. He calls her an ill-mannered wife. He knows Meltia is afraid of men and can't even look at them. To him, she is just a plaything, and he plans to make her his puppet. Well, his plan isn't going to work. Our Meltia has changed. The last time she saw him, she couldn't even speak. But now she is no longer afraid. Since Ardle isn't here, she will take over the duties. For the first time, our girl steps up. She tells Romisu not to bother and looks Seorus right in the eye. She is going to attend to him. Our heroine looks very bold as she welcomes Lord Seorus to the castle. No one would know she is shaking inside. She is actually very nervous. She knows how much Lord Seorus dislikes her and Ardle. If they have a quarrel right now, it might destroy the peace in the north. She has to speak to him calmly and find out why he is here. She invites the man to her chambers and even calls for tea. But Seorus isn't here for peace. He approaches her violently and calls her names. He thinks she is trying to hide the truth. She must be the cause of the epidemic. The man accuses her of spreading the disease. He is irritated when she glares at him. He somehow thinks her saving the people and finding a cure is all an act. He roughly holds her chin and tells her to stop pretending. She might act like a loyal and good wife, but she is just a rat. Romisu comes to his mistress's rescue and pulls Seorus away. He warns the man to stop disrespecting Meltia, or he will have to discipline him. The man feels insulted, so he attacks Romisu. Now our heroine is really angry. She can accept Seorus being suspicious of her, but attacking her people is too cruel. The man doesn't look remorseful. He tells Meltia he will only stop if she admits to harming the North. Everyone is nervous, especially our girl, but she refuses to take the blame. Her marriage to Ardle was to protect the peace, and she will live by that vow. Severus isn't satisfied and asks her to prove her innocence. Meltia isn't a fool. She can tell Severus isn't searching for the truth. He just wants her to confess to the crime so he can destroy her and Ardle. The man is really bold. He doesn't care that she is the leader's wife. Since she can't prove her innocence, he asks her to kneel and confess her crimes. Meltia is actually terrified, but she can't show her fear. If she does, Severus will surely take advantage. Since she refuses to kneel, the man decides to force her and tries to push her down. His actions are too familiar and remind our heroine of her past trauma. Her father would beat her this way. The feeling terrifies her, but she knows she can't give in. Ardle trusts her so much, so she must make him proud. She has to stand up to Severus. She tells the man she understands his feelings. He is probably afraid she might betray the North. That is exactly what Severus fears. He can never feel safe with a bride from the North and decides to destroy her quickly. He refuses to listen to logic, so Meltia decides to be reckless. Since he refuses to trust her, she gives him a chance. In order to prove her innocence, she allows the man to monitor her. Severus is shocked by how strong she looks. She even pushes his hand off and tells him she doesn't want any conflict. She just wants them to understand each other. For the first time, the sharp-mouthed Severus is speechless. Just looking into her eyes makes him crazy, so he shyly looks away. He suddenly becomes a gentle cat and stops arguing with her. But Meltia ain't satisfied. She wants him to apologize to Romisu. Severus is angry again, but Meltia doesn't give in to him. He attacked Romisu for no reason, so he has to apologize. The man tries to threaten her, but she reminds him she is the mistress of the castle. She won't forgive him if he doesn't apologize. Severus looks very angry, making all the servants nervous. They probably expect him to attack Meltia. Instead, he actually apologizes. But that doesn't mean he has changed. He goes right back to insulting Meltia and promises to destroy her. Our heroine is done with him and asks him to leave. He promises to return tomorrow to begin his spying duties. As soon as he leaves, the servants all rush to Meltia, concerned about her. We can see why. Our heroine is trembling badly. It is night and Meltia is still terrified. She knows she has to get over her fear, but she can't stop shaking. She is the northern leader's wife and shouldn't be bothered by things like this. But our girl is bothered and even cries. She was just so afraid. She understands why Severus doesn't trust her and can even accept him cursing her, but it is very frustrating. Everyone keeps blaming her even though she is innocent. She vows to prove her innocence to Lord Severus. Well, the chance comes really quickly. Lord Ardle arrives and she quickly hides her tears, afraid he would worry. She welcomes him with a smile, only to see him dragging a troublesome bundle behind him. Her husband has captured the disobedient Severus. Ardle returns, but he isn't alone. He has brought a little present for Meltia. He drags the disobedient Severus over, and the man's face is all swollen. The culprit, Ardle, doesn't look guilty at all. He met Severus on his way back and heard about his nasty behavior. He wanted to kill this little troublemaker, but had a better idea. He would bring him back to the castle so Meltia could decide his punishment. If she wants, he can end his life. Our heroine is frightened. Back in the kingdom, the punishment for disrespecting a leader is death. The North has the same rule, but Meltia doesn't want Severus to die. Killing the eldest son of the Whaling clan would only cause trouble. She just wants Severus to understand her, but she can't refuse Ardle's suggestion without destroying his dignity.
Ardle notices her fear and sends Severus away. He promises not to harm the man without her permission. Our male lead actually feels guilty. He failed to discipline Severus, so the guy became arrogant. Meltia tries to apologize, but he stops her. He doesn't want her to feel bad because he is proud of her. She protected his people, which made him happy. Our couple are done talking about serious business and decide to have some fun. This time, they will be taking a bath together. I like this. The scene shifts to the bath, and I must say, if our heroine moves any closer, she might actually stick to Ardle's skin. They are so close. The girl is also uncomfortable, but not in a bad way. His touch makes her feel strange, and she starts blushing. We can see the air getting warmer as Ardle moves closer. He admires his little wife's white skin. Anytime she blushes, she turns so red. Our heroine is embarrassed. She hopes he hasn't noticed, but she is actually thinking about their wedding night. She tries to change the subject and brings up the issue of Severus. She wants to know why he dislikes Ardle so much. It turns out to be an old rivalry. Severus was born into a prestigious family and was supposed to be the leader of the North. The Whaling clan had a powerful ancestor and a strong territory. For 2 generations, they had been leading the North. Severus was supposed to inherit that position, but our male lead snatched it away from him. Even worse, Ardle is just an adopted son. Severus couldn't accept that his position was taken away by some stranger. Meltia finally understands Severus's behavior. He is just trying to punish Ardle. The 2 men have known each other for a long time. Before taking the throne, the candidates would have to go through various tests. Each time, Severus would challenge Ardle, but he would always lose. Truthfully, our hero wasn't concerned about Severus. Please don't let the poor child hear this. Ardle never cared about his actions, but everything changed once he married Meltia. If he keeps using force to suppress their opposer, people would dislike Meltia. But still, he won't give in to Severus. Meltia is also thinking about this. She knows the people are just afraid and are trying to protect themselves from the kingdom. She doesn't want Ardle to harm Severus. She wants the Lord to accept her himself, so she tells Ardle her plan. She wants Severus to watch her. Ardle absolutely refuses. Meltia wants to bring peace to the north, but he is afraid that little troublemaker might become violent again. Our girl isn't scared of Severus or bothered by his mean words. Ardle knows she is trying to help him, but he can't relax. He is traveling tomorrow. Leaving her with Severus would make him worry. What he doesn't say is that it would make him jealous too. Poor Severus. Ardle is probably planning to beat him up again for daring to spy on his wife. Meltia tries to make him agree. She wonders what she should say, but just staring into her eyes makes Ardle weak. He finally agrees, but warns her never to be alone with the man. If Severus touches her, he will kill him on the spot and even remove his clan from the alliance. Calm down, King. Our king is still jealous. He warns her not to allow Severus interrupt their private time. Speaking of private time, the two decide to begin another round of intimacy right there in the tub. Have fun. The next morning, Ardle leaves the castle. It seems our male lead is rarely home. He has to visit all the villages and fulfill his duties. This time, he will be gone for 10 days. Before he leaves, he makes sure to kiss Meltia until she starts glowing. Now that Ardle isn't around, the troublesome Severus begins his daily spying. Meltia thought everything would be normal, but trust our heroine to always be in trouble. This time, she ends up in a forest alone with the stubborn Severus. They are under attack and he vows to protect her. Finally, we get to see the famous slacker, Taranok. Ardle visits his father, who isn't pleased to see him looking so cold. He is here for an inspection. They stand at the tower and Ardle admits the kingdom seems closer to him. His father exposes him. He is just happy because his wife is finally here. Back then, our male lead almost died of yearning. His only wish was to see Meltia. Our male lead is shy and tells his father to stop teasing him, but it is also the truth. Because of the couple's marriage, the two countries have become closer, but they will have to wait and see if it is a blessing or a curse. For now, the people of the north are on guard. Their future depends on Ardle. Taranok is sure his son isn't here for an inspection. He thinks Ardle is planning something. Our male lead indeed has a plan. He wants to keep his wife safe and make her happy. To achieve that, he is ready to destroy the kingdom. Anything that threatens Meltia will be destroyed by him.
Our male lead wasn't joking. He starts training every day, causing a group of women to gather around. They imagine themselves spending the night with him. If they had their wish, they would drag him off to bed right now. Unfortunately, our cold-hearted male lead isn't interested. He even rejects the banquet prepared for him and decides to eat alone in his room. The ignorant warrior makes a mistake and suggests sending some girls to serve him. Our hero almost swallows him whole. After that fierce warning, the warrior surely understands that his lord doesn't need another woman. Ardle returns to his room. The man looks cold, but suddenly starts smiling when he sees some flowers. It was a gift from his little wife, and he actually traveled with it. Talk about obsessed. If anyone sees our male lead now, they would think he is crazy. He is cradling a pot of flowers and declares it is all he needs. Thankfully, someone knocks on the door and he stops. The visitor announces herself as Nora. He opens the door and we see the most beautiful woman ever. Dear Meltia, you might have some competition. Our heroine has no idea Beauty is visiting her man. She is wondering what he is up to and assumes he is busy working. As for her, she is stuck dealing with this man-child. Lord Severus keeps watching her, making her nervous, but she refuses to let him win. The man starts his tantrums again. This time, he complains about some berries. His job for today is to question Meltia about the medicinal herbs. Not like he knows anything about them. He starts mocking her again, and our heroine has to remind herself she actually likes peace. She must be patient and refuse the urge to hit him. He notices another herb called the hyagrass, which is used to treat asthma. Meltia kindly explains the use, but the man just insults her. She smiles, but internally she's twitching. She even plans to scrape the dirt off Ardle's nails and make Severus drink it. So nasty. The man seems interested in the hyagrass, which makes her confused. But the next moment, he tosses it away and demands for some food. Meltia has no idea what they would be eating, which makes the man angry again. He goes crazy and tells her not to serve him anything bitter. He leaves after insulting her again. If Meltia had a chance, she would buy a voodoo doll and stick needles in it. This man makes her so angry. Still, she won't give up. Our heroine decides to take revenge and tells Severus he won't be eating for free. She allowed him to spy on her, but that doesn't mean he is her guest. She reminds him of his identity. Right now, he is a criminal who disrespected the Lord. If he needs some food, he would have to find the ingredients himself. She doesn't allow him to argue and announces they will be entering the forest tomorrow. He has two choices: help her gather medicinal herbs or find his own food. Severus is speechless when he sees Meltia's angry face. Her look frightens him so much that he doesn't dare to curse at her again. He can only complain in his mind. Back to our male lead. He is busy admiring his pot of flowers when someone knocks. A woman called Nora is here to see him. For some reason, Ardle seems shocked to see her. The timeline shifts to 10 years ago. 3 children are gathered in a study. Romisu is as serious as ever. He is studying but still has time to scold a girl for her wrong behavior. It turns out to be Nora. She is lazing around and thinks there is nothing wrong with her attitude. After all, their father isn't around. She points to Ardle, who seems to be asleep. Romisu is still the same and rushes to defend his friend. Somehow, Ardle's sleeping has turned into some sort of training. Poor Nora feels wronged and tells Romisu he always supports Ardle. Well, our dear boy has a good reason. When they were younger, Nora forced him to dress like a girl and play house. He hasn't forgiven her. Ardle wakes up and their fight stops. The old man is here. The three children immediately stand around looking very obedient. Taranok announces why they are here. It is time for them to decide their future. He has some marriage proposals for Nora. The girl has no interest in marriage and rejects them all. She wants to be useful to her father and decides to become a spy. She will use her beauty and acting skills to her advantage. Romisu's choice is simple. He just wants to become Ardle's assistant. The last to choose is our male lead. Ardle will accept any job, as long as it isn't the clan leader or chief's role. Everyone is surprised. The people all want Ardle to become the leader because he is the strongest in the clan, but our hero is actually insecure. He thinks he isn't as good as his father. The man managed to build a fortress in the cold just to protect his people. Taranok is amused by the little boy. He tells Ardle he only built the fortress to protect his family. Once Ardle has someone he wants to protect, he will do the same. Turns out, the three children all belong to Taranok. They might not be his biological children, but they are all his family, and he hugs them. He believes Ardle will change his decision when he has someone to protect. Back to the present. Nora remembers the past and finds it funny. Back then, Ardle refused to become the calm leader and even gave so many excuses. Yet that is where he ended up. We learn a huge secret. Ardle made a deal with his father. He became the clan leader just so he could get engaged to Meltia. Even Nora knows he is obsessed with his wife. Guys, we were wrong. Nora isn't Meltia's rival, but Ardle's. She loves cute girls and is eager to meet Meltia and go shopping with her. Ardle is on alert. Knowing a dangerous thief is here, Nora is offended. She accepted his last-minute job and even pretended to be a courtesan just to see him. She expects him to praise her beauty, but he just glares at her. The lady is annoyed again. She is supposed to be missing, so she can only sneak around to meet Ardle. The man finally pities her and thanks her for her hard work. He wants to know the results of her investigation. Nora has been investigating Meltia's former fiancé. She has found out the truth, but warns Ardle that it will cause chaos if it is revealed. Our heroine is having a nightmare. A giant snake is wrapped around her and keeps calling her its bride. It wants her to remain loyal to it and never marry. She must never betray it. Meltia wakes up in fear and starts trembling. That was really a strange dream. She is so lonely that she imagines Lord Ardle is by her side. The man hugs and comforts her. Well, the imagination soon ends and she is lonely again. Since she can't sleep, she decides to head to the medicine room and mix some herbs. Meltia goes down only to see the door open. Someone is inside the room. For some reason, she doesn't run away but steps inside. She is afraid it might be an intruder or a wild beast, but she is wrong. She hears some coughing, and when she rushes there, she sees Lord Seorus has collapsed. He is holding some haya grass and seems to be struggling to breathe. She rushes to his side, but he tries to push her away. She can tell it is a coughing attack. Now she understands why he was so interested in the haya grass. Lord Seorus has asthma. Meltia feels sorry for him. The two might argue, but she is determined to save him. She tries to help him breathe, but it doesn't seem to be working. He keeps coughing, so she decides to prepare some medicine. For the first time, we see Seorus looking vulnerable. He thinks Meltia is leaving and begs her to stay with him. She tells him she is just going to prepare some medicine and promises to come back. She gathers the ingredients and even remembers to add some honey. She hasn't forgotten that Seorus hates bitter things. She prepares the medicine and feeds it to the man. He is surprised when he tastes how sweet it is. She gently feeds him like a baby, wipes off his sweat, and even watches over him. Finally, the man calms down. Meltia relaxes and decides to prepare some extra medicine for him to carry around. Seorus watches her and wonders why she is helping him. The poor boy has also been traumatized. His clan people never believed he was ill. They accused him of faking his sickness just because he lost to Ardle. They thought he was faking a cough and ruining the dignity of the warriors. He knew his sickness was real but was afraid to explain. No matter what, they would call him a loser. So he decided to hide his sickness. He never thought Meltia, his enemy, would be the one to save him. Our girl has no idea what he is thinking. When she asks about his treatment plan, he reveals he doesn't have one. If a warrior is sick, he loses all his dignity. People would only mock him and accuse him of pretending. Meltia feels sad for him. She understands Seorus because she also has a sickness which no one believes. It must have been worse for Seorus because he is a warrior. She shows him some sympathy, which makes the man feel bad. He doesn't understand why she is helping him after all the nasty things he said to her. Our heroine tries to take some medicine from the top shelf, but keeps struggling. Suddenly, Seorus appears from behind and grabs the bottle. Such a romantic sight. Now it is Meltia's turn to be stunned. Seorus just helped her. It makes her happy, and she believes he isn't a bad person. She explains his illness to him. He has asthma, but if he receives proper treatment, they would be able to reduce his attacks. Meltia offers to treat his illness. The man is so shocked, he becomes speechless. Our heroine thinks he is rejecting her and turns away in embarrassment. She is prepared to hear his refusal, but he actually accepts. She is surprised, but then remembers he has been suffering from these attacks all alone. She might not be able to find a complete cure, but she will do her best to reduce his suffering. Her first step is to explain his sickness to him, but he has to rest. She decides to explain properly when they get to the medicinal forest tomorrow. The man starts complaining again, asking why he should follow her. She reminds him of his new job. He is supposed to be watching her. She promises to leave him behind if he is late, and he has no choice but to agree. Seorus is curious and wonders why she came down to the medicine room. She tells him she couldn't sleep, and he immediately teases her for having a nightmare. Meltia is embarrassed. She remembers that horrible dream again and wonders what it was. Was it really a dream? She stops thinking when Severus demands to know her room. She shows him the way and he follows her, claiming his room is on the same path. He walks her to her door and refuses when she offers to walk him back. For the first time, we see Severus become shy. He even blushes as he thanks Meltia for saving him. He quickly runs away, which Meltia finds funny. She watches him leave and notices something. The girl is confused. Severus said his room is in the same direction, but now he goes the opposite way. She finally realizes the truth. He just wanted to walk her to her room. She finds him cute and smiles, but then she starts to panic. She promised Ardle to stay away from Severus, but she just broke that promise. She is afraid it might cause trouble and decides to explain to Ardle when he arrives. The next morning, Severus is ready to enter the forest. He holds the medicine Meltia prepared for him, but his mind is a mess. He wonders if he should trust her after all. She saved his life. He keeps thinking about her, which is very annoying. He decides to stop and just focus on watching her. The girl arrives and she seems very happy. Severus takes one look at her and suddenly starts blushing. Our innocent girl thinks he is still sick and even tries to touch him. The man moves away, avoiding her like a monster. He is afraid she might notice, so he blames her for being late. Turns out he has been waiting for an hour. Meltia finds him cute. He must have rushed out early, afraid she would leave him behind if he came late. They arrive at the medicinal forest and our heroine almost faints from happiness. This forest is a treasure. She runs around gathering all the herbs. Meanwhile, Severus watches her and is about to die of anger. She keeps bouncing around like a rabbit. He suspects she might be gathering weeds, but it is even worse. All the herbs she gathered are for Ardle. Oh, someone is jealous. For some reason, Severus is unhappy to see her caring for Ardle. She hands him another flower, which upsets him. He thinks it is also for Ardle, but this time Meltia has prepared it for him. She has gathered some herbs which can calm the mind and help his sickness. Severus doesn't say anything, so she thinks he doesn't want it. What a joke. The man quickly accepts it. It is our heroine's turn to boss him around, and she orders him to pick some herbs. He tries to protest, but she says the exercise will help his illness. Left with no choice, the man is forced to work. Meltia keeps admiring the forest. Not only is it beautiful, it is also filled with various medicinal herbs. She has made up her mind to come here often. She suddenly sees something which shocks her. Near the lake, some Elis flowers are growing. This is a very precious flower, and our heroine rushes to pick it. She already has a plan for it. She will make some medicine which can help the warriors. Our girl is focused on the flowers, so she doesn't notice the water moving behind her. Something must be inside the lake. Just as we guessed, a giant snake jumps out of the water and attacks Meltia. Severus hears a scream, and when he looks back, Meltia is about to be swallowed by the snake. The man rushes to rescue her. He warns her to leave because the giant snake is very difficult to handle. Even worse, there is more than one. The other warriors fight the snakes while Severus tries to calm Meltia. They need to run, but our heroine is panicking. She wastes too much time and one of the snakes catches Severus. Thankfully, it only grabs his hair. The man decides to donate his hair as a little sacrifice. He cuts off his long hair and stabs the snake. He looks at Meltia, but the girl is too scared to move. It is impossible to fight the giant snakes alone, but Severus decides to try. He has to protect Meltia. He comforts her and begins to fight the monster. He manages to injure it, but it only makes the monster angry. Meltia is too scared to move. She tells Severus to save himself and leave without her. The man doesn't listen and quickly carries her. He plans to run through the forest and find a safe place. He warns her to hold on tight and starts running. Severus refuses to abandon Meltia. He carries her and tells her his plan. They have to run through the forest and find a safe place. Severus might have injured the snake, but he knows the injury isn't enough to stop the monster. They have to find a safe spot before it catches up with them. The man really wants to be the hero who saves the damsel, but his illness chooses this moment to act up. The man can't breathe anymore, and even worse, the snakes have caught up with them. This time, there are 3 of them. The man panics. He has to think of a plan or they will both die. Our heroine is really a saint. She is ready to sacrifice her life and tells Severus to leave her behind. The man has a better idea. They can just jump off the cliff. Thankfully, the 2 are stopped before they carry out their terrible plans. A warrior rescues them and manages to set the monsters on fire. The snakes are injured and fall off the cliff. Our heroine opens her eyes, curious to know if they are still alive. She is okay, but poor Severus is approaching death's door. His illness has worsened. Meltia finds his medicine and tries to feed it to him. The man is more concerned about her and asks if she is hurt. He only takes the medicine when he is sure she is fine. Meltia feeds it to him and tells him to rest until the other warriors arrive. Severus might be tired of living. He is sleeping on Meltia's shoulder. Let's pray Ardle doesn't find out. The man is also shy when he wakes up and starts blushing. The girl looks really upset, which makes him worry. He thinks she is still afraid, but Meltia is feeling guilty. Because of her, Severus had to cut off his long hair. The man tries to comfort her by joking around, but Meltia still feels guilty. Don't think it is just about the hair. In Ireburn, long hair is actually a symbol. The chief's hair has to be long so he can absorb the sacred power. Severus has been growing his hair out for this chance, but Meltia just ruined it. Well, the man doesn't regret anything. He warns her to stop feeling guilty. The warriors arrive with some water for Meltia, and she abandons poor Severus. The man feels lonely until one of the warriors approaches him. He thanks him for saving Meltia and hands the lord some water. Severus accepts and also thanks him. Meltia watches and is happy to see them getting along. In another city, Ardle is attending to his duties. Suddenly, a warrior rushes in with bad news. He tells Ardle about the incident. Our male lead looks calm until he hears his wife was involved. He is worried about her, so the boy assures him there were no injuries. Ardle is still worried about the snakes. They might have fallen off the cliff, but they won't die until their heads are cut off. He is afraid they might attack the castle next. The Lord decides to head home and deal with the monsters himself. He doesn't forget to hug his precious flowers. He can't wait to see his wife. Meltia is trapped in the same horrible nightmare. This time the dream is longer. The snake clings to her and calls her its bride. It warns her to be loyal, or it would destroy everyone she loves. Our heroine wakes up in fear and keeps trembling. She hasn't been sleeping lately because she keeps having these dreams. She tries to plan her schedule, but all she can think of is how much she misses Ardle. Meltia reads a report about Ireburn and finds out they are really wealthy. They produce a lot of food and even make weapons for sale. No wonder the kingdom keeps trying to take their land. The girl decides to monitor their trade. She notices something. The Scion Duchy has been buying a lot of weapons lately, and they seem to be related to the man watching her. Meltia keeps looking at Seorus and Seis, which makes the poor man confused. Our heroine is really busy. This time she goes to order some food for the castle, but her body is too weak. Everything becomes blurry for a second. The maid notices, but Meltia pretends she is fine. Well, she can't pretend anymore when she almost falls down the stairs. Luckily, her loyal follower, Seorus, is around and saves her. He has noticed how distracted she is. He can tell she hasn't been sleeping well and tries to force her to rest. He doesn't allow her argue and orders Liza to take her away. Our heroine has no choice but to agree. Our girl is really afraid to sleep. Ever since the snake incident, her nightmares have gotten worse. She keeps having the same dream every night. She sees a man every time and wonders who he is. She can't sleep because of these dreams, but everyone seems to be worried about her. She has to be strong. She takes some sleeping medicine hoping it will help her, but it just makes it worse. This time she sees herself blindfolded and chained. She is crying and trembling, begging for someone to save her. Suddenly a man appears and removes the blindfold. He comforts her and Meltia recognizes his voice. It is Lord Ardle. She opens her eyes and sees the man beside her. She thinks it is a dream until the man speaks again. She realizes everything is real. Ardle has really returned to see her. The girl laughs like a little child, happy to see her husband. The man explains why he came back and is happy to see her safe. Meltia mentions it was Seorus who saved her, and he promises to thank the man. He is still concerned about Meltia, thinking she might be hurt. He innocently touches her, but the girl actually moans. Our girl is embarrassed and covers her red face. She scolds herself for being naughty, but she can't deny it anymore. She wants the man to touch her. She decides to make the first move. She leans over and kisses the man. Of course, Ardle can't control himself and kisses her back. Lord Ardle is in heaven. His little wife is kissing him and it feels like a dream. Her body is as soft as cotton candy, and just kissing her fills his heart with love. Our male lead is ready to show his great stamina, only to see his wife has fallen asleep. Talk about disappointment. But he can tell she hasn't been sleeping well. She keeps calling his name, so he hugs her, promising to always be by her side. The next morning, our heroine hears some horrible news. Ardle plans to hunt down the giant snake and kill it. He is worried the snake might sneak into town and cause some damage. He calls the snake a child, which is really horrifying. Just how big would an adult giant snake be? Ardle reveals giant snakes don't live in the forest. During the storm years ago, an egg must have been washed into the lake. He can't allow the snakes to remain in that forest. The village children always play in it. They have to catch the snake while it is still injured. It would be harder to track it if it changes location. Meltia knows he is right, but she is still worried about her husband. He might be the strongest warrior in the north, but that snake was too terrifying. The man notices her fear and assures her he will be okay. He is also doing this for his little wife. Since she likes the forest so much, he wants to make it safe so they can visit it together. The idea makes her happy, and she prays for his safety. Somewhere else, Seorus is training for his battle with the snakes. He tries to swing the sword, but even a little movement makes him breathless. He is disappointed. If this continues, he won't be able to defeat Ardle. The person he is thinking about appears. Ardle wonders why Seorus uses a sword. To a warrior, their weapon is part of their body. The sword isn't a good weapon for Seorus. Ardle tells the man the truth. If he keeps using the sword, he would never defeat him. Of course, Seorus isn't happy to hear this, but our male lead doesn't care. He thinks Seorus will regret it when he has someone he needs to protect. Well, our male lead's words are a bit too correct. Seorus remembers the incident with the snake and how he couldn't defend Meltia. Just the thought makes him angry again. He hates hearing the truth from Ardle. Ever since he was a child, he has always been compared to Ardle, and everyone called him a failure. His people thought he had no value. Since he couldn't become the leader, he was useless to them. The boy is feeling bad until our male lead surprises him. He thanks Seorus for saving Meltia. He advises the boy to give up on the sword and focus on his health. Meltia might be interested in treating him, but it won't work if Seorus refuses to cooperate. The man knows this is true, but still feels like a loser. Our male lead gathers his warriors and heads for the forest. At home, Meltia keeps thinking about him. She remembers his words when she told him about spending time with Lord Seorus. Ardle wasn't annoyed and even praised her for saving the man. He gave her permission to treat Seorus, but she has to be careful. Meltia thought he would be angry at her. Instead, he praised her. It made her really happy. Ardle might have agreed to let her do what she wants, but he is still a jealous man. He has to mark his territory and decides to do that by leaving a mark on Meltia's neck. He wants everyone to know she is his. He is afraid she might call him selfish, but she actually agrees. The man falls in love with her again. They share a kiss and he tells her to rest until he comes back. They are going to have a long night. The warriors are searching the forest, but they can't find the snakes. Ardle warns them to be alert. They might not see the snakes, but the monsters know they are here. It is time for our lovely Quenzer to perform. He is going to attack the first snake. The boy looks very eager, but the rest of the warriors are worried. They don't trust him and remind him to cut the snake's head off. That will be their food for winter. That is the best motivation for Quenser because all he thinks about is meat. Enough of that. We see the giant snake has appeared. Only one shows up. The rest are probably hiding somewhere. Quenser is ready to secure his winter food. He jumps up and with just one slash cuts off the snake's head. The soldiers are surprised by how strong he is. Meanwhile, the boy runs over to Ardle and asks for some praise. Suddenly, everywhere turns dark, and even the birds start to flee. The warriors look back only to see another snake has appeared, and this one is way bigger than the first. They are all afraid, wondering how to fight such a huge snake. Well, they are worrying too much. Lord Ardle pulls out his sword and challenges the snake alone. He cares about his people and is ready to destroy anything that threatens their safety. No matter what it is, he will destroy them all. And he does. With just one strike, he beheads the giant snake. Even his warriors are shocked. Back at home, Meltia is eagerly waiting for her husband. It is already evening, and she starts to worry. Severus notices her fear and hands her some calming grass. He remembered what she taught him, which makes her happy. She smiles at the man and accepts his advice. All she can do is wait. Just then, the warriors return. Meltia welcomes them, but notices her husband is missing. She panics until Quenser assures her Ardle is safe. He reveals the man is at the well in the backyard. The girl doesn't listen any further and immediately rushes over. Meltia can only think about her husband. The man is also having a rough time. For some reason, he feels strange. He tries to convince himself that the snake's blood is affecting him. The smell of the blood must have reminded him of the battlefield, but he knows it is a lie. He is just upset because he saw Meltia smiling at Severus. He felt a strong desire at that moment and knew he had to avoid Meltia. He can't face her now. Unfortunately, the girl comes looking for him. She is worried, especially when she sees him covered in blood. He explains it isn't his blood. Our male lead is struggling. Just hearing Meltia's voice makes him want her. He just wants to sleep with her. The girl has no idea what he is thinking, and even worse, she tries to bathe him. The man stops her and tells her to leave. He wants to treat her gently and decides to rest before joining her. His behavior is too strange, and Meltia can tell something is wrong. He is breathing too hard and his body is hot. She thinks he is sick and insists on staying with him. Ardle decides to tell the truth. If she stays here any longer, he is going to sleep with her right now. He won't be gentle and won't stop even if she cries. He is afraid it might scare her away, so he tells her to leave. But the girl isn't frightened at all. She hugs him and reminds him she is his wife. She tells him not to hold back. He can do whatever he wants. Her words reassure the man, and he decides to stop resisting. He immediately starts kissing her. He won't stop until he has drained all of her. Severus seems to be searching for Ardle. He is about to disturb our couple, but the two faithful cats stop him. He tries to push them away, but they tell him they are only saving his life. Well, they are. The man is stubborn and insists on entering, but Romisu and Liza grab and pull him away. They try to bribe him with some desserts and milk, totally treating him like a child. No matter what he says, they refuse to let him go. Back to our couple. Ardle almost dies from Meltia's sweetness. He is prepared to devour his wife and show off his stamina. He tells her his plan. She will remain with him in bed for days, and he will do everything. Feeding, bathing, and even dressing her. Our heroine doesn't think that is a good plan. Ardle just wants her to be by his side for the next few days. He doesn't wait for her response and just assumes she agrees. Meltia notices the changes in her husband. He seems really rough and forceful today, but for some reason, he is so charming she can't stop looking at him. He makes her dizzy. The man is determined to drain all her energy. Today, he is going to teach her how to please him. Our male lead has shown off his stamina and now is feeling guilty. He thinks he was too rough with Meltia and calls himself a bad husband. The girl isn't bothered and assures him he is still the best. He did send her away, but she insisted on staying with him. The man still blames himself. He thinks there is no excuse for his rough behavior. Meltia is upset and wonders how to comfort him. Before she can, the man makes up his mind to avoid her anytime he is in that mood. Now Meltia really panics. She begs him not to hide himself. He has to show her every side of him. Our male lead has always been calm, but he loses control when it involves Meltia. He is afraid something like this might happen again. Next time, he might hurt her. He comes up with a plan to stop himself. If he loses control next time, she has to tell him she hates him. That will be enough to stop him. Meltia is touched. For some reason, this man always considers her feelings. Watching this big man panic and lose control just because of her touches her heart. She hugs him but refuses to follow his plan. She can't say such mean things to him. The man is still concerned about hurting her, but she tells him it makes her happy. He is stunned by her love and hugs her, but still he warns her to stop spoiling him. At this moment, our heroine thinks her husband is really cute. He is just like a big wolf and she just wants to treasure him. She really loves him and decides to have some fun by teasing him. She says he is acting like he forced her, which makes him panic. He tries to explain, but she tells him she really liked it. He taught her how to be properly loved, yet he is trying to take it from her. She pretends to cry and our poor lord almost cries with her. He is really so cute. Meltia starts laughing and calls him adorable. Now the man is shy. He doesn't agree with her though. She is clearly the cute one. Our heroine has a better solution. Since he still doesn't understand her feelings, they can just have another round. Ardle acts like she just said her death sentence. He refuses, afraid she might hurt herself more. She teases him and reminds him of his wish to spend the next few days in bed with her. The man is ashamed again and apologizes. Meltia is really happy and prays this happiness will last forever, but some people won't let it. Over at the Duchy of Sion, a young boy seems to be painting. He sings an eerie song and suddenly mentions our heroine's name. He is actually drawing her. The man misses her so much. Just thinking of her with Ardle makes him mad, but he doesn't care about that. He seems to be planning something and says he will see her soon. Over at Ireburn, our couple are preparing for a feast. They have a tradition. Whenever a huge beast is caught, they have to throw a party. The castle is very busy, except for our heroine. When Romisu sees her walking around, he stops her and says she is supposed to be asleep. Our girl is feeling shy as she wonders what Romisu knows. Well, he seems to know something. When she tells him she wants to help out, he refuses. Lord Ardle has told him she is supposed to rest. The girl is embarrassed and assures him she is fine. He finally agrees, but warns her not to overwork herself. Meltia wants to use this chance to get closer to the people, and is determined to do her best. The warriors pass by with the snake meat, and Meltia is shocked to see how huge it is. It is big enough for everyone in the castle to eat. Even worse, this is just a part of the meat. The girl plans to share the rest with the nearby villages, which pleases Romisu. He tells her Lord Ardle has the same plan. It will be the people's winter food. Romisu is happy to see how much Meltia has grown. When she first arrived, she was very weak. He was worried she wouldn't be a worthy wife, but she has changed and become stronger. He tells her none of the snake's resources will be wasted. The girl is impressed. Back at the kingdom, they love to waste everything. But here in the north, it is completely different. Romisu reveals that the summer solstice festival is approaching. Our girl has no idea what it is. And neither do we. Romisu explains it is a festival for young people. He wants her to attend it with Lord Ardle. Who knows? Something good might happen. His words are very mysterious, making Meltia confused. He doesn't get a chance to explain as someone pulls him away. Time passes, and it is time for the feast. Of course, the happiest is the meat addict Quenser. He almost drools into the food. He even tries to steal some meat, but he is caught. The banquet seems really fun as the warriors all take turns praising Ardle. The man doesn't seem bothered by their flattery. Meanwhile, his wife is imagining how handsome he would look in battle. The warriors don't forget to mention Seorus, almost making the man choke. They haven't forgotten how he fought the snake without any weapons. He is really impressive. Our troublesome lord becomes shy. He reminds them he didn't defeat it. He is expecting more praise, but all the warriors immediately keep quiet. After all, he is right. Seorus is annoyed again and scolds them. Meltia is pleased to see him getting along with everyone. She isn't so happy when the attention turns to her. They advise her to eat more, and Quenser even shows her the proper way to eat meat. I won't recommend anyone to try this, though. The warriors are all worried about Meltia. She looks so thin. They are afraid she would fall over from a single touch. She tries to calm them down, but they all turn into little puppies and beg her to eat. The poor girl panics and starts wondering if she has to eat like them. Ardle makes it worse when he hands her a plate with a large piece of meat. He looks calm, but she can tell he is very happy. His imaginary wolf ears are standing. Our heroine is forced and has no choice but to eat. The meat turns out to be very delicious. Ardle encourages her to eat more. She teases him and tells him she is afraid to lose her curvy shape. The man is embarrassed but doesn't forget to praise her. He says she would look nice even if she was as round as a ball. He even likes the idea because that means they could last longer in bed. These two have really forgotten they are in public. The warriors are happy and make fun of them. Meltia is really glad. Months have passed, but her days with Ardle remain precious. But some people are ready to cause chaos. Over at the Duchy of Sion, a meeting seems to be holding. We see a very handsome man sitting in his study. He is writing a letter and it is addressed to Ardle. It turns out the former Grand Duke of the Sion Duchy is dead. This man, Orphan Elidor, is the new Grand Duke. He invites Meltia and Ardle to his coronation. He mentions his younger brother, Sadian, will also be at the ceremony. For some reason, the boy is eager to meet them. He thinks the ceremony will make the two kingdoms closer. Our male lead reads the letter, but he isn't pleased. He seems to know who Sadian Elidor is and has been waiting for the man to make his move. To understand why our male lead is so upset, we have to go back to the meeting at Taranoch's Empire. That night, Nora visits Ardle and tells him the investigation is complete. He is eager to know the truth about Meltia's fiancé, who was erased from her memory. Nora warns him this is a dangerous secret. Once it is revealed, chaos will begin. But Ardle is determined to know since it concerns Meltia. Nora finally reveals the secret. Meltia's former fiancé was Sadian Elidor. The two have been engaged since childhood, and it seemed to be a perfect match. Meltia was the cute, innocent girl, and Sadian, the perfect young lord. Their marriage was like a fairy tale and would unite the two kingdoms. The Duchy of Sion has always claimed to be neutral in the struggle for power, so the marriage talks were secret. But things weren't so perfect between Meltia and her fiancé. Sadian Elidor had no interest in the girl. It would have been perfect if things remained that way. But after the kingdom was defeated in the war with the North, everything suddenly changed. Sadian became obsessed with Meltia, visiting her every time. Back then, the girl was struggling with her mental and physical injuries, and Sadian took care of her. It was almost like his previous behavior was fake. This might sound like the beginning of some love story, but things are much darker. All of Meltia's previous maids suddenly vanished. It looked like someone was hiding something. Nora managed to track down some of them, and they revealed the truth. Back then, Meltia was already recovering from her trauma, but it suddenly worsened. Even her personal servants became scared, always trembling at the mention of Sadian's name. Every time the young lord visited, no one could approach Meltia's room, not even her father. Only her personal servants were allowed, and even then, Sadian would lock the door from within. He would spend hours alone with Meltia. He called it a sick visit, but he must have been doing something horrible that worsened Meltia's trauma. Ardle believes it must have been very horrible to make Meltia lose her memories. Nora reveals that the marriage was called off after the previous duke fell sick and the kingdom was defeated. But even then, Sadian refused to accept it. It seems really strange. Why would the man who disliked his fiancée suddenly become obsessed with her? Nora tells Ardle that the previous Grand Duke is dead. His son, Prince Orphan, has taken the throne, but he knows nothing about politics. She believes Sadian is going to make a move soon. Ardle has another task for Nora. This time she has to approach Sadian. Back to the present, our male lead is furious. His beloved is finally living a happy life. If she goes to the Duchy of Sion and meets Sadian, her memories might return. Those memories must be painful for her, and he doesn't want Meltia to suffer. But he knows he can't hide her away forever. Even if he protects her from Sadian, it wouldn't be long before her memories return. He refuses to lock her up in a cage. His only wish is for Meltia to live a happy life in his land and keep smiling. He is ready to do anything to make that happen, and decides to tell her the truth. Even if she falls into despair, he will be by her side. No matter what it takes, he will pull her out of the darkness with his own hands. Our heroine is in the medicine room. She is surprised to see Ardle visiting her. It makes her very happy. The man approaches, but he looks very serious. He holds her hands and says he has something important to tell her. Enjoying this so far? Comment Meltia below for part 3. Until next time, ciao!